Tuesday, December 8th. Across the hall, we're having our month-long tournament. We used to have it on Wednesdays, and now we have it on Tuesdays. So I'm not going to talk as loud as I usually do until about 9:30. Then I'll talk even louder than I usually do. Today's an unusual stream because not only are we going to be on chesstv later, hopefully from 9 to 11, but we're also going to have a lesson with David Pakman that'll last about an hour, and that'll start around 9. David's going to stream at 8:30, and then from 8:40 to 9, we're going to try to get him on the stream without the technology not working. My guess would be the technology won't work. He's going to call me on Zoom, and I'm going to hang up on him, and his picture is going to be wrong, and the video won't work, and we can't hear him. But we have 20 minutes to figure it out before we're on chesstv or so. So we'll try to figure it out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do before and after my lesson, but I'll do something. Probably after the lesson, we'll have a tournament, like 3-minute or 5-minute or something. Karen's playing right now across the hall. She's playing somebody rated over 2100. I think he's 10 years old, unless he's 9 years old. He's probably 9. Yeah, I think he's 9, and he's 2100. And Karen's playing him now. They started an hour ago, and so forth. I got my new top on, just like summer. All right, let's see here. Can I see it all? Maybe. All right, who's texting me? Probably not Karen. Yeah, the odds aren't good. Okay, so let me... When David and I are trying to set up this stream and we think that things are okay, let me know if you can hear him and see him properly. But it won't be for like 40 minutes. So let's see, what am I looking for? I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Me and you two. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Ahoy, first, hello, good evening. Let's see, let's move this over. Okay, move this back. Good evening. Hello. Hello, trying to learn. Hello, yo chicken F. Everybody says first. I guess that means you're all first. Zoom should work okay. All right. First. I'm also first. No, I was. Thanks. I like making those videos. Oh, yeah, that was a great video. Dr. Borogeni has subscribed. Thank you. Hey, Thaddeus. Who is David Pakman and what is other stuff? David Pakman is a political commentator / economist. His YouTube channel has over 1 million subscribers. He also streams. And other stuff I don't know yet. Let's see. Nice haircut. 2 + 2 is 5. Summer from Rick and Morty, obviously. Yeah, we're going to change the scene and you'll see me and Pakman next to each other in theory. In practice, nothing's going to work. Hey, Debugger 2B. Actor Laramie subscribed. Hooray. And Premier Chess has rated me with a party of 2. Hooray. Thanks, Premier Chess. The lesson will start about 9, and it'll take us a long time to get the stream set up so that it makes some sense, I guess. Karen thinks we'll set it up really quickly, so we'll see. She was already on a Zoom call with David about 3-4 hours ago setting things up. And then when I showed up, she was showing me how to set things up and so forth. So hopefully you can hear him and see him. Otherwise, we'll get Karen away from her game and Spencer away from the front desk, and they'll fix it. Yeah. Stronger than Alpha Zero. We need one more donation or sub, and we start a train. Yay. The grill, what the hell is that? That's right. That sounds like the Simpsons movie. I think that's right. I have Perrier. I won't have the dragon drink anymore. I went to the doctor Monday, and the doctor's like, "You're alive," and they put me on every medicine on earth, and the medicines made me sick. So then I stopped taking the medicine. Well, one of them, and I have to get more, and then I have to get blood work tomorrow. I was supposed to go to the dentist today, but I was too sick to go, so reschedule that, I guess. And then I'll just go to the doctor every day the rest of my life. I'll live the rest of my short ass life and motherfucking pain. What did he say? Rapist here. What did he say? Whatever Ving Rhames said, it was funny. Resign It says Stein It subscribed. Hooray. New haircut? Nope. This has been my hair for about a week, I guess. This is probably my 5th or 6th stream with this haircut. Go Ben, go Hype Train. Yeah. Yeah, I asked the doctor, do I have COVID? And she said, you have everything but COVID. I thought I was Mr. Burns for a second. Yeah. Yeah, my blood sugar actually got arrested and I went to jail. And I'm like, why are you putting me in jail? And they said, it's so high. I was like, damn, good joke. JJ Wad 95 gifted a sub. Man, the doctor looked at me and said, you're paying in advance, dude. God damn. Didn't think I'd make it through the examination. Yeah, they gave me a test when I showed up. It was height and weight. And I said, what were the results? And they said, you failed. I was like, God damn. 100 centidues, choo-choo. Hysterical pregnancy? A little. Yeah, very good joke. You saw the episode. Good job, Kangaroo. Kangaroo's well-versed in several cartoons. That's good. Indestructible. Hooray. Obviously. Right, I still have period. That's right. 303 centidues. Yeah, actually, when I went to the doctor previously, they told me I had 6 months to live. And I said, I can't pay the bill. They gave me another 6 months. So that was good. So I think that should work out well for me. What do you suggest to learn openings? Just watch Queen's Gambit and start drinking and using drugs a lot. Wait a minute, that's not what you should do. Yeah. And so forth. All right, I don't know what to do before Pakman shows up. So somebody have a suggestion. I have no idea if we should have a tournament, or I should play you guys, or I should play high-rated players. I'm pretty sick, so I don't know. That is a Rodney Dangerfield joke. Dr. Viddy Boombots. Yeah. Viewer game analysis sounds really annoying. Man, I lost all the subs. 2,529 subs? Jesus. I lost 200 subs in 2 days? Play music. That's a good idea. Puzzle Rush. It's Ken West. Go Ken West. Play Dr. Vinny Boombots. Sing and dance. That's right. Let's play a simul. To play Puzzle Rush, I'd have to change the scene. I don't even know how to do that. To change the scene to play Pakman. Most of you don't know how to spell Pakman, so that's good. Yeah, the music's on, but it's pretty low. Play me, says Pam, who's not challenging me. How am I supposed to play her if she's not challenging me? Terrible. Trivia challenge. That doesn't seem very chess-oriented. Although it could be. Play some music from Bach. Well, you start with Debussy and then you finish with Bach. So, just chatting is correct. You could change your theme. I could do that. Do you play Karen much? Not much. We used to play a lot. Yeah. All right. We'll play some chess. Kangaroo wants to play. Yeah. What's my profile picture? That looks like me and Spencer when Spencer was 9. Trying to learn, talking about The U.S. Championship in Key West, 1994. I never liked key lime pie. So I don't think I've had a piece of key lime pie. I've had a bite of one when I was a kid and went, oh God. My mom says key lime pie is the best, but you have to have key limes and you never have key limes. She's mad. She thinks they're always tricking you. Do you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah? I don't celebrate either one. I celebrate when you guys give me subs. Like right now we're on level 2. If somebody donates 3 subs and puts us on level 3 in the next 25 seconds, then I'll celebrate. But we have Christmas stuff in our house because that's how Karen rolls. So that's good enough. It's Chris C. Ryan. Hello. Festivus. I have celebrated Festivus. Yay, trying to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, gifted 5 subs, putting us over the top. Thanks, trying to learn. Dr. Buogeni gifted a sub. Hooray, go Dr. Buogeni. Let's see, I guess here is the theoretical move. Gotta play the theoretical move. Who's winning? Not him. Hey, that's the best move. That shows you what kind of life he's led. Not a good life. The life of the wife is ended by the knife. I think he's got it. Hooray. Do you celebrate the New Year's? I sleep. I mean, not really. Was Queen F2 also mate? Probably. Yeah. This mate looks cooler, though. Queen F2 was mate. Now, in this position, which I've asked on stream several times, and not this exact position, but almost, how does black play mate in 1 here? I've asked the similar position to this many times. Almost the exact same position. Black has mate in 1 in this position. Anonymous gifter gifted a sub. Thank you, Anonymous. Bishop F2 is not mate. G4 is illegal. Yay, we have a right answer from PDX Jack and homomorphic 9. 9! Bishop E7 is mate. That's the only mate. And then in this position, if he had played king to F3, I have queen G4 mate. So basically, F takes E5 is the losing move. And Kangaroo, when you're white in a king's gambit, never play F takes E5 because queen H4 always beats you. So don't do that. I was playing a guy rated about 2,000 and in this position, in a slow game, and he played this in this position, and then he ended up giving up the rook, and he played on 20 more moves before he resigned. GM Evil Morty gifted a sub. Hooray. Yeah, let's try to get 200 subs before the Pakman lesson, because, we lost a lot of subs. Pam is still not challenging me. This is just terrible, frankly. All right, y'all play some chess until, Pakman and I get it together. He's going to start streaming at 8:30, and then at 8:45, he's going to send me a careless whisper, and like that. You are a sub, Murhoff. Tisker Tasker 48 gifted a sub. Hooray. Tisker Tasker Edward Lasker. If I do this, whoa. I did a Topolov there. I meant to go here. I didn't even mean to move. I was just going to show the move. And then I went here. Topolov would be proud of me. All right. There's a 0% chance he'll see that. Tisker Tasker gifted us. What? What happened here? Pam, you are a sub? A lot of people who are asking for subs are subs. So I'm not sure what's happening. I think Queen D3 to C3 proves there's more games of chess than atoms in the universe. Usually I'm kidding when I say that, but I don't think I'm kidding this time. Although Queen D3 was a mouse slip and Queen C3 was just a terrible move. Queen D3 was a mouse slip of me showing a move that was legal that I wasn't going to play. That's a weird mouse slip. I'm like, hey, audience, if I go here and then like I play Queen D3. McJurgle and MC Jurgle subscribe with Prime. Hooray. Still theory. Oh, that's right. Wesley's playing Hikaru tomorrow. Now, I may be wrong, but tomorrow's Hikaru's birthday. And also, it's Tony Rich's birthday. He's always been wealthy, but it's the first time he's ever been rich. Bradford61 gave 5 subs. Hooray. Go Bradford. But stay there. It's Chess with Ovi. We have 500 viewers to do. We're just hanging out doing nothing until my Pakman lesson. Pakman, I think, wants to look at his games, but I want to show him my games. So we'll fight during the stream. And my opponent has the 2 bishops. He has the fatals. What doesn't he have? I'm learning to Pakman. Somebody on Twitter said if Wesley wins tomorrow against Hikaru, then he'll have beaten Hikaru on his birthday and Magnus on his birthday. The true story. It's a big if. Does MVL have any chance against Magnus? Like 5%? I think MVL is just going to get rolled. Magnus hasn't been playing well lately, but I think MVL is his customer, especially at this time controls. I think Wesley or Hikaru could beat Magnus the way he's playing. Magnus isn't playing great the last month or two. So I think either one could beat. I don't think MVL can beat him. Pac-Man Fever. Come on, let's get to level 6. Andre the Giant was a wrestler, dead now. I heard he could drink a little too. This game's not the highest quality game ever played ever. It's close. He was doing well until he wasn't. Was doing well. I made 4 mistakes and 2 blunders. Jesus. Yay, Jake Baker 93 subscribed. Why does this say 100%? Did we get to level 6? What were they talking about? There's no level 6. Why did it say 100%? Level 5 complete. What does that mean? What's happening? It says level 5 complete, then it stays on level 5? Okay. That's, something. I didn't know it said that. That's weird. Tisker Tasker gifted a sub. Thank you. 110%. You gotta give 110%. All right. Let's see. Thaddeus wants to play 1 minute unrated? Okay. That's weird. I'm guessing Thaddeus typed in the wrong time control. He's never challenged me 1 minute. Oh, now he's just being silly. I stopped King F7. He probably pre-moved King F7. Goes down smooth. Karen is my Mrs. Pakman. Kangaroos, I don't feel so bad now. That game of chess may not have ever been played before. Force majeure. It was a force majeure. That's why I won. I figured somebody would laugh. Yeah. It's the fool on the hills, mate. Let me get my camera. All right, that game made a lot of sense. Hey, it's Jude. Hey, Jude. Don't play so bad. Take a bad position and make it better. The minute you play the Vienna Gambit, then you'll begin. Man, I don't sing so good. It's the reversed Schliemann-Janisch Gambit. God damn. Yay. That was a good thing. Train. Let's see what it says about my strong support. 23 subs, 100 bits. We need a lot of subs this stream. We lost a lot of subs the last 2 days. When's the lesson? You know, when he shows up. What's happening here? Is this a 5-hour game? What's going on here? Yeah. David's gonna send me a whisper at 8:45, and then we're gonna try to set up the stream so we can give a lesson. Karen and David have been working on it, like getting the stream so you can see us both and hear us both. I know nothing ever works. That's my motto. So if we can get it set up, that would be nice. I'm stuck at 1200 bit blitz. All right, here's what you do. Play better or play worse. Then your rating will go one way or the other. So there you go. Yeah, just play a lot. Playing lots of chess is good. Get lessons from a chess coach. Have him tell you what you're doing wrong. Play slower. Play better. Analyze your games. Figure out what you're doing wrong, etc. It takes a lot of time to get better at chess. It's not like I was 1200 last month and I still am. I was the same rating for like 4 years. Now it just goes down. See, D4 confuses the audience. So I'll play there, not confusing the audience. Yeah, when Jude has the black pieces, he plays the Lenin Grad Dutch. Yay, one person got it. Good. Man, this night is like the dance the penetrada. It makes sex look like church. I don't think my daughter should be here for this. You can't hide her forever, lady. Stupid lady. Yeah, I heard on Queen's Gambit, the Grandmaster, it says, what's a Grandmaster? And they're like, it's a genius. And I was like, this show's great. That's what I was thinking. Man, that's a good move. I can't argue with that move. Well, I didn't come here not to sack a piece. Why did I come here? Sacking a piece for Vishwa, nothing. But he's got doubled pawns and weak pawns. And I got, this action going on. I'm checking him. Pretty good. I want it all. And I want it now. Ooh, connect 4. I One mistake, four blunders. Are you really a GM? I mean, I said I was a genius. No, guess not. You missed the lesson. Too bad. Come back next time. Hooray. A fine game. Where's all my people? Okay, skip over cheesy driver. Why do all the chess players use chess.com and not Lee Chess? What? Dr. Boa Jenny, are you challenging me? I don't see you challenging me unless you have a different handle. I want it now. Play Wayward Attack for Science. Blinded me with science. Is Ireland? Yes. I hate taking stuff, but somebody had to. Go chesstv. So the guy who sang She Blinded Me with Science, Thomas Dolby, he was sued by Dolby. The music sound thing. And he won. They said, you can't be Dolby, we're Dolby. But he was allowed to be Thomas Dolby. So he showed them. Not sure what he showed them. Didn't seem to have one song and that was it. After I retire from chess, I'm going to change my name to Ben Stereo. See if that works. We see a lot of IMs, FMs, NMs, 20 plus of a lot of GMs lower rate. Why is that? Well, because number one, a very high percentage of the high-rated players on chess.com are cheaters. Most grandmasters don't cheat. Some of them do. The people who aren't grandmasters, they're all cheaters. Second of all, lower-rated players such as yourselves care about your chess.com rating, whereas nothing could be less important than that. And the third thing is grandmasters don't play blitz chess and bullet chess 24 hours a day on chess.com. That's what lower-rated players do. So their ratings go up, and GMs are giving lessons and playing in tournaments and writing books and stuff like that. Hope I answered your question. But the main reason is those guys are all cheating. That's the main reason. Cheaters have higher ratings usually. The IMs and FMs are cheating? Yes. Some of the GMs are cheating too, but all the IMs and FMs are cheating. There's always an exception. There's always like one who's not cheating. That's crazy. Man, bishop here, queen takes. That would be awesome if it was good. I guess this wins a piece, so I'll go there. No, Fedoseev and Nepomniachtchi don't cheat. No. Yeah, if Levy was cheating against me, he's going to cheat better. He might have been cheating. He might have been like asking the engine for a bad move, and then he's like, okay, great, because he was letting me win to be a nice guy. That's unlikely, but I'm trying to give a reason why I won. Normally, I just lose to Levy, so. Karen said I can't lose to Levy, so all right. There was a guy in Michigan, he's still there, named Ariel Levy. I think he pronounces it Levi, but okay, he's a weirdo. But anyway, he's 2,200, 2,150. He plays in all the Michigan tournaments. I've played him like 10 times in slow chess. But I did have a Chevy. I really did. And I would drive my Chevy to play Levy, and Levy resigned. That happened all the time. And then I'd go watch the movie American Pie. Something. I never thought I would drive my Chevy to play Levy and Levy would resign, but it happened a lot. So Pakman should be streaming right about now, and then he'll send me a whisper at some point. Oh, it's my move. Mendex 420 subscribed. Hooray. Always retreat. I don't know if I should take this or this, so I took nothing. That was my final answer. Not the most accurate. So bishop g2 is mate, so I have to give him more time, so I can play bishop g2 mate. Okay. Well, he might take this. Good. Hooray, didn't see rook takes bishop. 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 2 bishops, what else, Papa John's. Why is Wesley so underrated? I don't understand the question. Yeah, Madonna's cover of American Pie is the worst cover ever. That's correct. I agree with that. Yeah, the reason there's a lot of cheaters on the internet that don't get kicked off, and a lot of them do, is let's say you owned one of the chess sites, chess.com or Chess or Chess24, ICC, and somehow you could mathematically determine the likelihood of a cheater. I don't know how, but you can, I don't know. You own the site, you know how. And you have a meeting with your people, and you're like, at what number do we kick people off? 70% they're cheating, 80%, 90%, 95%. I mean, if you kick off 80% of people who are cheating, who are likely cheating, and you kick off 1,000 people, 800 of them cheated and 200 didn't, can you live with that? Probably not. You probably don't want to kick off 200 non-cheaters from your site and tell them they're cheaters, right? So there's some number where you're like, all right. And I think for some of the sites, it's, either it's between 98% and 100%. It's not like 96%, because then you're just kicking off people who aren't cheating. If that's your, if you believe in those numbers. So it's hard to figure out who to kick off when you're 95, 97%. Do you kick them off? I don't know. Obviously, when somebody's rated 1100, and they play, 3,400 strength every game, they're cheating. But the smart cheaters are harder to catch, obviously. Yeah. Don't kick paying customers. Well, if your site is known that everybody cheats, then some people who don't cheat might want to go to another site. Wow. It's funny when, let's see, how do I say this without getting arrested? In my past life, which we'll never talk about, sites that have other games that aren't chess, that claim they have security and they kick off cheaters and so forth, they don't care, because those people make them a lot of money. They only care if there's lots and lots of complaints. They claim like, oh yeah, we catch the cheaters. It doesn't matter if anybody complains. They don't care about cheaters. They welcome cheaters. See, the chess sites like chess.com, they don't want cheaters. But other games where there's money involved, they don't care if there's cheaters or not. They just don't want, the people to complain a lot. So when there's a lot of complaining, they're like, all right, 20 people complained about this one guy, okay. But if there's no complaining and they know you're cheating, they don't care. If chess.com knows you're cheating and nobody complains, you're out, right? Any sites like that, like Chess, and if they know you're cheating and nobody complained about you, you're still out. But other games, they don't care if you're cheating. And then some. Yeah. As long as you don't know what I'm talking about, that's good. Yeah. As long as you don't know anything about me from 10 to 20 years ago, that's good. Nice new threads I got on here. All right. Yahoo Chess entire business model was built on cheaters. That's right. Chess.com's not harsh enough on title players cheating. I disagree. I'm not allowed to talk about why I disagree, but I disagree. I know what chess.com does to catch cheaters. Karen and I were pulled in, and we discussed it with the people in charge. So, yeah. Chess.com does a very good job catching title players cheating. Yeah. 100 centijuice. Thanks, Jolly J Mock. Is this bridge? You know, earlier today, I was looking at the streams, like the list of the streams, and I think Chuck Moulton, it said bridge. So I looked, and there were like 3 people watching, and they hadn't set up their bridge game yet. So I was like, all right. Yeah. They should be harsher to them. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that. I mean, if this is common knowledge, this isn't my inside knowledge. My understanding is if you're a titled player and you cheat, you're kicked off. And then if you say, okay, I cheated, you admit it, then you could have another account. And I think that's for almost everybody, not just titled players. If you say I didn't cheat, what do you mean I cheated? And you never acknowledge that you cheated? You're kicked off of chess.com. That seems pretty harsh. You're out. What do you want to do? Go have somebody go to their house and beat them up? I mean, what are you going to do? So what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes is we're going to set the stream up while I'm streaming. We're going to set up the other thing with David and the Zoom call. And there's going to be dozens of people in the chat saying, I can't hear David, and I can't see David's picture, and it's off center, and I can't see the board. We're setting it up, so that doesn't matter. What matters is when we're done. When we're done setting it up, then you can complain. So if I say we're done setting it up, then you could put dozens of complaints in the chat about how you can't see David, you can't hear David, you can't see me, the board is wrong, etc.
Oh.
That was quick.
I actually did really well.
No, I mean, you came in quick, you scared me.
Oh.
You like, rawr.
Spencer said he couldn't tell who was better, but
Yeah, I asked him about it like 15 minutes in. He said it was all right.
I missed a tactic. It was actually a really competitive game.
Yeah, I played the Ethan kid, Blitz Chess, because you said, yeah, I played him one game, and then he was better the whole game, and then I won a lost endgame. Yay.
Yay.
So I win.
So if this works out, so I can help with the Pakman situation.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to do that soon, so have a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You can take your mask off if you want. You can leave it on. This is my final position in the game I just played.
Mm-hmm. I think it.
Who's better?
I've got to get over.
But who's better here?
Let's see. So black looks pretty good.
Checkmate. Now, if you thought that was good, we're going to lose Kangaroo as a moderator now. Because I'm going to show you my game with him.
No.
Yeah. It was Kangaroo's best game ever, except for one thing.
It's a big mask.
Yeah. Now, are you watching? Okay, that's it. All done. The game's over.
Wait a minute.
So what opening is this, sweetie?
King's Gambit?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now in this position, Knight C3 is the main move in tournament play. Queen E2 is some computers like. He played this, which is considered not good. And now he made a move that loses instantly. Ready?
Okay.
Here, black to play and win whilst I read the chat. $20 from Scary. What? 1,500 plebe. No talent can reach 2,000. Chasing the dream, same as Powerball. Okay, so first question is.
What about?
Thanks for the $20. First question is.
Queen H4 check.
Yes. What do I recommend for time control? Whatever you like. If you're capable of playing slow chess, and people aren't, the slower you play, the more you analyze the game with an engine, a friend, yourself. then you get better at chess. If you're playing 1 minute chess and 10-second chess, it's just for fun. The second question is, almost anybody can get to 2,000 if they have unlimited time and resources. And there are people who can never get to 2,000, and there are people who can never get to 1,000. And there are people who can never get to 800, which will confuse some of you, but I've met these people, right? So most people who play tournaments for a long time, yeah,
Somebody's saying Pakman's ready.
okay, but he didn't.
Okay.
You know, like are between like 1,000 and 1,800. That's a typical tournament player. You play chess for 6-7 years in tournaments and you're 800. That's unusual. Yeah. So yeah, but you shouldn't worry about, can I become 2,000? Like just play chess and get better, not like set a goal. And if you don't get it, you're mad. Like if I wanted to be 2,000 when I started chess, it took me 7 years of playing in tournaments. If I quit after 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, like a lot of people do, I never would have got anything.
We know about it, David. I'm waiting on him to finish.
I am in the Zoom call and waiting, he said. He said he's in the
monologue.
Zoom call. So admit.
Yeah.
Okay, I admitted.
Police, that's actually pretty interesting.
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Hold on, we're getting connected. Yeah,
Can't-
Ben, I can hear.
Okay, I can hear you.
My video. Oh, there I am.
Okay, Pad, see you.
And hold on, let's put Ben on.
It was different than
So Ben,
before.
we can see and hear you, and I'm sending you video, so it
Here, let
all
me move.
should be
You
happening.
need to get in the middle.
You could be too, right?
No,
No?
I don't want to. There's not enough room.
Okay.
So we have to fix why he's so low.
So he's low, so move this down.
Oh, I
Probably.
can adjust my camera for you guys.
What do I move down, this or that? Oh, whoa, that
Is
helped.
that better?
Actually,
I would just take the window and maybe
yeah, we're fixing you on OBS, so 1 second. What do I do?
we can try to move the window down and just see if it does anything. Just drag the window lower.
Nope,
Just see.
that doesn't do
It doesn't
anything.
even do anything.
No.
Okay, can I sit down?
This could be wholesome.
It's anything but wholesome,
If you're on the
David.
wrong stream.
Anything but.
If you're on my stream, it's wholesome.
A lot's
I-
happening there.
Let me just fix it.
Karen's gonna fix it so people can see your chin. Yeah, because
Oh, when you said I see what you're saying. When
yeah,
you said I
David's
was
like,
looking
let
at
me
your
in, let
shot
me
is,
in.
I wish I
see
had my
what's-
glasses, but it's fine.
That's strong.
Second webcam.
Oh, people are saying I'm so low in the shot they're reporting the stream.
No, we're gonna. It's good. Yeah. Hey, by the way, that other woman got COVID too, David. I'm sure, like
Yes,
Jenny.
it's the first instance of COVID spread by flatulence. I read.
That's right. Yeah. That's what happens when you're farting around. You get COVID.
All right, wait, hang on. Oh shit.
It's all theoretical, though. It was still a theoretical spread.
All right, let me get it. Almost got it. I can't really align it perfectly, but
That'll be in the next copy of my book, Smell Like a Grandmaster.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
That does look good.
Here.
Let me.
If only David moved over. No, that's good.
No, don't move.
Hey, we should just have Karen do it. That looks great. Yeah.
So I'm centered in my shot the way I see it.
No, you're pretty left wing. I don't think you're centered.
I think we got him. Let me see. Let me just.
Hey, David, you have to answer a question for me. If you can hear me.
Let me just look at this. Oh yeah, we need to
Why
make.
is he stuck? On the stream, he's not moving.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you
not moving.
froze up for some reason.
Yeah, you froze on our stream. That's good.
Uh-oh.
You've never looked so good.
So what are
Very
we?
strange.
Oh wait, you're on down. Well, look.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
why.
you're fixed. You're fixed.
Okay.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
think.
don't tell his girlfriend. Okay,
All right, so see if
so,
sit down.
oh,
And,
yeah,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
good.
That's good enough.
And then ask Chad if it's loud enough. Can you guys hear David?
Yeah, in the chat, can you hear what David is saying and stuff? Okay, I'm done. So now you can complain in the chat about how we look and how we sound and how we smell. We can't hear David. David's audio could be louder. He's very low.
Okay.
So what do we do to make David louder? We do that? Okay.
Let's try that and then do another test.
All right, can you quote some Shakespeare for us so we can hear?
You know, I could maybe Beowulf or something like that. I don't
What?
know.
Come on, to be E3 or not to be E3, that is the question. Whether it's his nobler in the mind. That's a little
Just
better.
one,
Make
two,
make it
three.
make it
Am I
louder.
coming through
Make
clearly?
it loud for him.
I'm
Make-
trying. Just a second. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think about what to do.
Okay.
For people in my channel wondering what's going on, all of these tests are for Ben's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware that Ben's coming through fine. People are telling me everything's fine, but it's like, right, but that's on my channel.
Oh, instead of
We're
direct-
hearing David's voice from your microphone instead of direct input.
All right, let me
Oh
see.
my god,
Let me sit
that
down
sounds
again.
interesting.
Can I sit?
He's clear, but mic volume needs to turn up. All right.
We're working on it.
Okay.
They want me at an 11. Jesus.
That's like when Bernie Sanders gives a speech. It starts at an 11. All right, so here's my question while Karen's fixing things.
Yeah.
Karen has a liberal friend, and I have a liberal friend, and that's already shocking. And my liberal friend, who's very well educated and worked for Google and Netflix and graduated MIT in Michigan, and he's liberal like me, he thinks like all the COVID stuff is just stupid. He's like, nobody dies of COVID except really old people. It's like, this is just dumb. So how do I convince him otherwise? And also,
I mean,
why
I
would
ask where
somebody?
he got that impression. Start with how he figured that out. How did he come to that conclusion?
Yeah, he's like, nobody dies of COVID. Everybody gets COVID, nobody dies. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Question one is, how did you figure that out? Where did you come up with that?
Yeah, but why does he think that? Not, I don't want to correct him. I want to know like what's wrong with him?
Yeah, well, so to start, you've got to figure out how he came up with that idea. I mean, it's a strange idea to have.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's just weird for like that kind of person to have that idea, but there are people like that.
Hey, Trump had a doctor who was saying crazy stuff, and
Right.
that guy went to medical school.
Okay.
Yeah, also isn't the HUD guy a doctor?
The HUD. Oh, Ben Carson. Yeah,
He's a
is.
doctor.
I don't know why he's doing HUD, but
I'm a
I've
doctor.
Actually, it's actually the reason why he's doing HUD. I think is sad, which is Trump saw housing and urban development, and he says that sounds like a position I should pick a black guy for. It's crazy, but I
Urban,
think that's the
yeah,
explanation.
that's true.
Hey, could somebody give me some feedback?
Somebody tell Karen if David's louder.
Desktop audio. Wait, maybe this is.
They're complaining about the audio.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, say stuff, David.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I'll bet you that's louder. I'll bet you that is. Same. No, there's no way.
That's a little bit behind where we are.
Right.
It's got to be louder. The quality's not.
No,
good
they all
enough.
say no.
Well, I turned
The
it.
desktop audio, that should be the right one. Yeah, I
I
agree.
understood that.
I agree. Make the other audio louder. You were making louder before, but you stopped. The computer one.
Oh, wait, I'm trying to read what they're saying. Just a second.
Okay.
This is very interesting.
Looks like he's coming. It's like he's coming in through the microphone. All right, let me go back.
So I guess to start with, just in the
Yeah, in the Zoom thing, maybe you get the audio where it says something else. Yeah.
So in Zoom, if you click the little up arrow next to the mute icon, what do you have selected for speakers? Is it the right thing there?
Yeah, I was just in there and I changed it, and nobody. So it was on the microphone, the red one that you can actually see that Ben
I mean the
uses.
speakers, these.
Hold on, the speaker was set to a microphone. That will cause a problem.
Oh wait.
That's just the mic.
I know.
That's not the speaker.
I know, but I'm wondering if I changed the wrong thing before. Okay, so let me.
Guys in my chat, we're not working on my stream. We're working on Ben's stream. People are furious. They're saying, David, stop changing. I haven't changed anything this entire time. We're just helping Ben get everything set up.
Okay, so on the microphone that's correct, and on the speaker.
But the microphone was wrong though, right?
Yeah, I changed something before.
Okay, good. Okay.
But let's try this configuration.
Okay.
All right, say something else.
Good evening and good afternoon to everybody.
I don't think it's any. I don't know how we would know if it's any different.
Am I bouncing into the yellow or red in desktop audio when I talk?
Same thing.
No, the desktop audio is not even moving.
You can hear him okay, but it's just not great.
Okay. Hold on a second. Are you guys in Streamlabs OBS?
We're just regular OBS.
Yeah, why is this not moving?
Well, if
Right.
you click the little gear icon
Right.
next to desktop audio,
Yeah, click that
and
little
then
gear.
hit properties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What's selected under device there?
It says default.
Default's no good. Click the arrows and go to something good. Default's always wrong. Yeah, go to anything but that.
All right.
Default's always wrong.
Let's try this one.
Yeah, it's moving.
Oh, wow. Now
Fixed.
people are
It's
saying I'm
fixed.
coming
It's
through
fixed.
powerfully.
It's fixed. I can see
I
the
think we
thing moving.
fixed it. Yeah, it's moving now.
Okay.
Did I just troubleshoot that from over here?
Yeah,
Hey, you
you're the
did.
best person who ever lived, except for one thing.
All right, I got to turn it down because it's into the red.
Oh, I'm way too loud now on
Yeah,
Ben's stream.
I can
Yeah,
see
move
that.
that.
Okay, I'm trying
That's
to
funny.
do it.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. All right. Say one more thing. We're almost there. Talk.
We are
again.
getting so close to perfect audio.
All right. One more time.
Perfect audio is coming very soon.
That's looking better. What do you guys think? It is all people doing internet cafes.
All right, let me see.
They
I can
said
fix it
perfect.
if you want.
They said perfect. Okay, we're good.
But they're just trolling anyway. Yeah. Now remember, in my stream, they're all the worst. Your guys are great. So,
Right? People furious with me that I was fixing my stream when I wasn't.
they have great vengeance and furious anger. I hate when
Right.
they do that.
Too
Yeah.
quiet. Enough.
No, don't ever listen to them.
No, because
Yeah.
it can be turned up.
No, it's not too quiet.
Somebody else says it's perfect.
Right, it's not too quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, I already know it's fine. It's Grunge Wart. He's giving money to me or Pakman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sing a duet. That would be good.
Thank you, David, for that.
We would get you more
I
donations.
knew we would get it.
Pleasure.
So what, David? What happened today in in Trump land and such?
Today, well, there was a vaccine summit, and it was Trump blurting out that he won.
Right.
So,
Are you insinuating he did not win?
yes, I am insinuating that.
I heard the Supreme Court ruled against him today. The U.S. Supreme Court.
Right. Well, they didn't really. I guess they just they're opting not to hear a case. I think.
Yeah. Pennsylvania. He wants the results changed.
Yep.
It's
well,
funny,
It's not even enough, but
I always wondered which governor was worse. You know, our governor of Florida, but the Florida guy's killing it. He's the worst easily.
he's killing people.
Right, but I mean, our governor's like fighting Trump. Our
Yeah.
governor, man, he was a terrible governor.
Because you're in Georgia, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And are you voting in the runoffs?
Yes,
Oh, that's good.
we're voting our Ossoff, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know exactly.
He
what
actually looks a little like Ossoff. See?
I've gotten that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says I look like Ossoff. So what
Are you any big Hanukkah requests for gifts or anything?
No, I'm the least. I got nothing.
Got it.
Yeah. What do we do Christmas in our house, right? No.
Kind of.
All right, we're Christmas.
We do the secular part of Christmas.
Yeah.
Really?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big revelation.
Yeah, I'm the least religious person ever that's ever lived.
Culturally, though, Hanukkah is a great cultural holiday.
All right. I mean, I learned about it on Futurama. That was interesting.
Oh boy, we should probably move on.
Yeah, there we go. So you're insinuating that you're doing something.
No, not really.
Okay, good.
I'll do
right.
the candles.
So
but-
what I wanted to do is not what you wanted to do. We can do what you want to do. I wanted to show you a couple of games that I played years ago and ask you questions and such.
oh, all right, let's do it. So,
Yeah.
do we have to like match up our boards?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, what we'll do is, this doesn't work on chess.com, but I'll try it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll have an analysis board,
Yep.
and then you're in live chess.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to my analysis board and I make you a student or something. Like I invite you to the analysis board. I think that's what I
Okay.
do. So let's see, plus, that didn't work. And then you're like David Pakman or something.
That's right.
Your handle is
Yep.
invite participants. Invite selected. You've been invited.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
How
I think I'm
I
there.
haven't done this in a year, and that worked. Wow.
It
okay.
says I am now allowed to move.
So make a move. Let's see if you're allowed to move. Very good.
Did it work?
Yeah, you played E4. Yeah, terrible. Okay, good. So, and we can do other stuff too, but I wanted to like show you stuff, ask you questions.
I'm at your disposal. I'm totally at your disposal.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start, and then I'll get a lot more viewers in like 5 minutes when I'm on Chess TV.
Right.
Yeah. They're already trolling me in my chat. They're making fun of my game with Gelfand. Terrible.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
Nick Gelfand from Longmeadow?
That's correct. How do you know?
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't even know you played chess.
Yeah. There's a very long joke about that in that ilk where the guy's like, I played Korchnoi. Victor Korchnoi? No, I played Joe Korchnoi. It's a long story. At the end of the story, David, you say like, I played some grandmaster. You're like, Arthur Bisgar? Yeah. The end of the joke is like, yeah, him. Yeah. Okay. So this is a game I played in 1993, maybe. So you weren't born yet.
No, I was. I was 9 at the time. I lived in the U.S. already, incredibly.
You were 9. Were you from Argentina?
Yeah.
Then I won't cry for you.
Now, do you just remember this game from 27 years ago off the top of your head?
That's correct. And if I don't remember,
See,
I'll just make it up and you'll be like, wow, he's great.
That's what makes me think I may not be predisposed to be very good at chess, because the idea of just remembering that, like, so Hikaru and Levy remember my PogChamps games from 3 months ago, which I have no memory of. They didn't even play in those games, right? So, like, I don't know.
No, but I mean, when you do something and that's all you do, like if I asked you who was the president in 1967, my chat doesn't know, but you do. So
67, is that LBJ?
Yeah, you remember stuff that you remember, and then they play chess. That's all they do. So I was reading a Bridge magazine, and in Bridge magazines, one of the best columns every time is they show you a bridge hand and ask you what you would do. And then the top players argue. I would bid 3 spades. The next guy, I would never bid 3 spades. That's funny. Anyway, the guy said, I can't answer this question because my partner held this hand 25 years ago.
Huh.
And I was like, what? And the guy and the editor went, he's right. This was his partner's hand 25 years ago. So yeah, people who are good at stuff are really good.
All right, well.
Yeah. I can't remember everything, but you know, A, B, C, D. Okay, so E4. Now, for some reason, I'm only on episode 5, David, of Queen's Gambit.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of Sicilians in the Queen's Gambit. Very suspicious. Not a lot of
That
Queen's
is weird.
Gambits. Not a lot of Queen's Gambits. Okay. And this was an open Sicilian. In Queen's Gambit, in one of the episodes, they referred to Bishop B5 as the closed Sicilian, which is incorrect. That is not the closed Sicilian.
Mm-hmm.
Closed Sicilian is white fianchettoing his bishop and playing knight c3. Can you see my arrows and my nonsense? Okay, yeah. This is called the Rasalimo Variation, named after your favorite grandmaster, Nicholas Rasalimo.
Right.
Who was also a cab driver. Can't make that stuff up. Okay. So this is the open Sicilian where white plays d4, and that way it's more open and such.
Right.
Okay, knight f6. So my first question to you, and then I'm gonna ask you why I'm asking you the question. It's complicated. If white plays e5, black can just take that. So that's silly. So if white wants to play e5, forcing the knight to move, white could consider trading the knights and then playing e5. However, this also fails. Why does it fail?
Why does this fail?
This is bad for white.
Is it because of queen check on a5 and then take the pawn?
That is correct. That's a trick that you always want to be wary of. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the reason I asked you that, in all chess openings, doesn't matter what the position is, if white has a pawn on e4 and black has a knight on f6, this happens sometimes in many different openings, white wants to play e5. Mm-hmm. If white can successfully play e5 and black has to move the knight away, that's almost always good for white. And in the Sicilian, this never happens when good players are playing because they know that e5 is coming and they stop it. Lower rated players, it might happen. So this is the kind of thing that would happen in a lower rated player's game. After knight c3, now white is threatening, if you can call it a threat, to do what I just said. Take the knight and play e5. So if somebody played like a nothing move like a6, this would be really good for white.
Right.
Black has no option rather than go back to g8. So grandmasters nowadays typically play e5, the Sveshnikov, especially Magnus Carlsen, and I always play d6. And this obviously, both moves stop him from playing e5.
D6 was the one I was thinking of.
Right, yeah. And in fact, when I used to teach chess all the time, I would tell my students, when you play a Sicilian, please stop playing e5 every game.
Mm-hmm.
E5 is for much higher rated players. It's very weakening, and you have to understand why you're weakening yourself. And in all chess openings, if you move pawns that have, a file in the middle, e5 and c5, for example, and there's a file in the middle, you're really weakening all of those squares. You can't control them. So after d6, I'm controlling e5, pretty nicely. Now, here's the toughest question. Your chances of answering correctly aren't very good.
Okay.
So you can impress me now. In Grandmaster play, in this position, what are the two most common moves for white?
F4, or in who knows in Grandmaster play? I don't even, I have no idea. Maybe bringing one of the bishops out.
Yeah, bringing pieces out is good, but where?
Bishop to G5?
Bishop G5 is probably the most common move, and
Okay.
Bishop C4 is probably the second most common.
Okay.
And F4 is probably, I would say, fourth, maybe third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lower rated players like to play two other moves against me. They like to play Bishop B5, which isn't terrible, and they like to play Bishop E3, which in all Sicilians, in any Sicilian, when there's a bishop on E3, you have to watch out for Knight G4. If Knight G4 is good, don't play Bishop E3, and Knight G4 is good.
Right.
So, yeah. So Bishop E3 Grandmasters don't play that. Okay, my opponent played Bishop C4. This is called the Sozen Variation, and later the Fischer Sozen, because Fischer played it a lot. And I used to play E6, and then I played Queen B6, and now I play E6. But I've played them both. This game I played Queen B6, attacking his knight.
Right.
And most people play Knight B3. And the reason you play Queen B6 is when the knight's on B3, the bishop can't go back to B3 when it gets harassed.
Right.
The bishop wants to be on this nice diagonal. So the bishop doesn't really have a good retreating square. Some people don't play Knight B3 for that reason, and they'll retreat their knight somewhere else, like E2. The problem with playing bishop to E3 is not only could I take on B2, which is super complicated, I could also play Knight G4 again.
Right.
Okay, so he played Knight B3, and I played E6. And now he played what are called low-rated players moves by me. And what I mean is, these are attractive to a low-rated player. Right? Yeah, Karen agreed. These are moves low-rated players love to play. Also, I'm on chesstv, I guess, because I tripled my viewership.
Love it.
If you're leaving, can I get Perrier? Yeah, thank you.
Perrier. Oh my
Did
God.
you want a Perrier, David?
We're going to have to talk about that.
Okay. We could talk now.
I'm shocked that you're not a Poland Springs guy.
I'll drink anything, but a lot of people send me Perrier, so it's free. Yeah.
People send you bottles of water?
Yes, they send me vegan snacks. They send me coffee, bottles of water.
Wow.
Come on, get your stream going. Come on.
Please.
John Raymond. They just send you money. That's all they send you.
Right.
Yeah. It's okay, though. When they send me coffee and Perrier, I always make sure to get the cash value so I can declare on my taxes.
Of course. Absolutely.
We got a raid from Chess Dojo Live. Dojo, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did. Yeah, that has like GMs and IMs like Jesse Cry, David Pruce.
Yeah, I love that channel.
Yeah, the problem with David Pruce is he's always bringing me down. Don't bring me down. Pruce.
Love your channel.
And Jesse Cry is always beating me. Man, I hate those guys. All right. I think they both lived in the chess house. I think so. There used to be a chess house, David. It was near Berkeley, maybe like 20 miles away.
Berkeley College of Music in Boston or Berkeley, California?
Very funny. No, California.
Oh, okay.
The real one. And then, I know the one you're talking about, too. Says, my daughter almost went to Salem State. She might. She took a year off, so she might go there.
Okay, that's a solid school.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, my daughter did really well on the math scores, so they said she was a witch. So I'm not sure she can go there.
Okay.
All right. So after e6, my opponent played bishop to e3, attacking my queen, which is okay.
So should I be looking at this from Black's perspective?
Either way, I'm looking at it from Black's perspective.
Okay, I'll do the
either
same
way.
then.
Yeah. You know how to flip the board?
Oh, I already did.
Okay, good. Okay, queen c7. Okay, now this is the position where my opponent went low rated. This is a move that even a low rated player would be like, come on, that's for a low rated player. And my opponent's like 2350. Now, White's slightly worried because his queen isn't his bishop isn't defended. And one of the things you should get out of this lesson, if you get anything, and you won't, but if you do, it's that when your pieces are developed, which you should be doing, and they're on the 4th and 5th row, they're apt to get captured. So you always want to, in the back of your mind, when you move things, know whether they're defended or not. And obviously, these 3 minor pieces that I've highlighted are defended.
Yes.
And so are these 2 knights. The pieces we moved that aren't defended are my queen and his bishop. And since they're lined up, that's very risky for him. Okay, he played a very poor move here, knight to b5. That's the kind of move I would expect from a low-rated player in a blitz game. It attacks my queen, but I'm going to move my queen away.
Yep.
And it undefends your e-pawn, which is very important. The most important thing that I ever teach ever, and if you remember this, you'll be a master soon, is there's 3 kinds of pieces in chess. The most common are pieces that are not attacked, like all the ones I'm highlighting. Okay, they're not, nothing can capture them.
Yep.
Then there's ones that you can capture for free. That's very rare. You're like, yay, a free bishop.
Right.
So if you can't capture it, there's nothing to talk about. If it's free and you're winning, there's nothing to talk about. The things that matter in chess are when they're attacked and defended. That's almost always advantageous to the attacker. Did you need me? Are you good? Okay. And so in this position, the e6 pawn is attacked and defended. And obviously black doesn't care about that because black has 2 defenders. And the e pawn is attacked and defended. And so white has to realize that his knight is tied down. So by playing knight b5, he's undefending his e pawn.
Right.
So I moved my queen. I didn't go to d8, which I could have done. There's nothing wrong with it. I went to b8. You could go either way. And the idea is when you play a6 and b5, and when you play d5, your queen's open this way, on this diagonal. Maybe you want your rook to go to d8 opposite the queen. I didn't want to put my queen back where it started, so I went to b8. Although queen d8 is fine, not a big deal. Okay, my opponent realized his e pawn was attacked and played f3. I developed my bishop. I attacked his knight. And knight d4 is a psychological mistake because this is a problem a lot of chess players have. If he plays knight c3, which is the correct move, it's pretty obvious that didn't make a lot of sense. Knight b5 back to c3.
Right.
So to make his moves make sense, he went somewhere else. And
in other words, to avoid the feeling that there was a waste of time there.
right. And in my opinion, knights next to each other are excellent because they control so many squares.
Yep.
And they're not the same square. So you're controlling everything. This move has what Mark Dvoretsky called the superfluous knight. I hate to quote him because he's not my favorite, but knights that are tripping over each other, defending each other. He wasn't a fan of that, which I agree with. Because I like when his knights are tripping over each other, and he doesn't, I don't want to trade the knights, then they're not tripping over each other. So I play knight to e5, attacking his bishop, putting my knight in the center. And again, I've said it earlier, when you move pieces out, sometimes they're defended, sometimes they're not. Many times on my stream in Blitz and Bullet, people move their pieces to the 4th rank and then I capture them.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, I mean, that's where they get captured. On the 3rd rank, they're pretty safe because pawns are defending them, usually. Fourth rank is more dangerous. Okay, so he played bishop e2. And I played every Sicilian lover's dream. And I ain't talking about Pizza Hut. Now, David, did you know I was a vegan? And also, do you believe me?
Let me think. You were having Indian food on stream the other day. Mulligatawny is vegan except when it's made with chicken broth. I guess I'm not sure if I believe it.
I like your analysis. Yeah, I've been a vegetarian since July 86, and I've been a vegan. It'll be 3 years in 3 weeks. New Year's resolution.
3 years and 3 weeks. Okay, wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Powerful.
So in this position, I did every Sicilian lover's dream, D5.
Okay.
And when you play F3 in a Sicilian, you're defending your E pawn, and generally you want to play like G4 because you're in G5 and attack. You don't want these pawns traded because then why is the pawn on F3? It's very weakening. Well, his pawn's attacked on E4. Or I'll ask you an easier question because I've asked you hard questions so far. After F4, which was not played, attacking my knight,
yeah.
What should black do?
If once F4 is played.
100 centidues from a fellow vegan. Hooray. Hey, I have 3,000 viewers. That's good.
My thought would be to put that knight on C4 with the idea that I could take the bishop, I could recapture the bishop, and I feel like someone, I don't know who says, or maybe many people say, people are saying the bishop is worth slightly more than the knight. So maybe I would see that as a reasonable trade.
So
or
you think
I would just look at knight
that
to
because
G6.
you're getting rid of white's trumps. Did I lose your volume? No.
Right.
There you are.
Or second there.
I think your volume's going in and out. That's good enough.
Are we back?
We're back.
Okay.
Yeah. No, knight C4 is actually better than the move I was going to play. The student has become the master. And this is one thing when I say it's better, they both win. When somebody plays a move like F4, there's two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
The obvious way is that attacks my knight. Where do I move my knight? And what's funny is in the match between Magnus and Wesley So last week, there was a position where Wesley played attacking Magnus's queen, and Magnus moved his queen away. And the winning move was to not move the queen away and to attack Wesley's queen, which was winning immediately.
Oh, I think I saw that game actually.
And Wesley said, "Yeah, when you attack a queen, we move the queen away, like that's how a human thinks.
Right.
A computer doesn't think like that." So after F4, the human says, "Hey, my knight's attacked," and then you played knight C4, which was the right move. Finally, the engine, after thinking for 10 minutes, likes my move better. So another thing that you should start thinking about, whether it's your move or your opponent's move, is what your moves undo. So like when Giuliani goes to Michigan and you're asking what is he doing, you should ask what is he not doing. What he's not doing is giving COVID to the other 49 states at that point.
Right.
So that's good for those states when he's in Michigan. Okay. So when
not so good for Michigan.
Right. So when F4 is played, that's good for the F4 pawn attacking the knight, but it's bad for the E4 pawn because the F3 pawn was defending the E4 pawn and now it's not.
Right.
So you have to see what you're undoing, what you're unprotecting. And so knight takes E4 just cleanly wins the center pawn.
Ah, and attacking the queen, right.
If it didn't attack the queen, right. Now what's funny is knight C4 is excellent because I can't really find a good way for white to save everything. There's not a good way. It's not good. Okay, so F4 is a terrible move. He didn't do that. He took on D5, and I took with the knight.
Okay.
Bob Seeger recommended.
Okay.
Not sure if David got that one.
Knight moves, yes.
Working on my knight moves. Also, Bob Seeger was correct. It's funny how the knight moves.
My producer actually prepared me for that joke. So I had never heard you tell it, but he told me, be aware that joke may be coming.
That could happen.
Yeah.
You have a producer? All right, 100 centidues. Thanks, Tisker Tasker. Now my opponent played bishop G5. And now,
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm showing you this game is it's interesting game strategically, etc. This is the position where I consider this my greatest move I've ever played. And
Really?
it's not even necessarily the first engine move. It depends how long you let the engine run. Changes its mind a lot. Okay, and then we have to break down how the move was found. So I can give you a chance to find it.
This is your move now.
Right, black to move. I played a very unusual move here. Not the first move you would think of.
I don't know. Do you just take the bishop knowing that it'll move the queen and then maybe the queen being in a different spot? No, because then your knight on e5 would be undefended.
It's actually defended by my hiding queen.
Oh,
on
sorry.
D8.
It's defended by the queen.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you do that.
Bishop takes g5 is an excellent move, but it's sort of boring. It's not
Yes.
an exciting move.
Pawn to f6.
Never play f6.
Okay.
Also boring. Okay, so the first move to look at in this position is bishop b4. Because if you can win the queen, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
But he has c3. If he plays c3, then I'm PO'd. So then
Right.
we have to play r2 to d2.
Yep.
Okay. So on the other hand, if his pawn wasn't on c2, if it magically disappeared, then bishop b4 would be an excellent move.
Mm.
Okay. Now, his queen's on d2, defending his bishop. And this is something we talked about earlier. Look at the pieces that are attacked and defended.
Yep.
His bishop is attacked and defended. If I could get that queen off of there, I could take his bishop for free. What square in common do the queen and the pawn protect right now?
The queen and the pawn, d3.
That's right. So shocking you, I played knight d3.
Right.
And my opponent, to confuse everybody who's watching right now, played king f1. Okay, let's analyze the other moves. If pawn takes, bishop b4, as we aforementioned, and we aforementioned it.
Wins the queen.
Right. And if queen takes, I take the bishop. These are advantageous for black because you can see my bishop's pretty good, his bishop's pretty bad. I have these squares for my knight. I have the two bishops. So this is bad position for white.
That's
Now-
strong.
Now the move this is going to be hard for you, especially based on your previous comments. What do I do? What do I do after bishop takes d3? Now what do I do?
Now what do you do? I have no idea.
We talked about it earlier. You missed it earlier. Now you can miss it again.
Okay. Do you now attack the queen with
If bishop b4, he can still play c3.
right?
And in any position, you always look at checks and captures. There's a big check you have now that you didn't have before,
Queen to e5 check.
and that wins his bishop.
Right.
I got two guys on his bishop. If he goes here, I still got two guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very bad position for white. I'm going
Yep.
to take that bishop, and I'm really dominating with my two bishops and better pawn structure, safer king. F3 is not where you want your pawn in this position. In fact, if his pawn was on F2, he could play bishop E3 now and defend. Okay, so he played king F1.
To avoid all of those scenarios.
Right, now he can't castle, so I retreated my knight to safety, and he traded bishops. This is a very funny position because it looks like a normal position, except why is white's king on F1?
Right.
And the reason it's funny to me is if it was black's turn to move, I would play E5 and the knight on D4 is trapped. Usually
Right.
knight on D4 is not trapped. So he played G3, attacking my knight. Takes. And I castled. And now he made another mistake. He played king to G2. And that's not where you want your king because E3 is weak. And if I can get my knight to E3, you really don't want your king on G2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I played B6 so I could get my bishop out. He played rook to d1. I played bishop b7, and he blundered. His position's very bad here. His knights don't do anything. His king is on this diagonal. E3 is weak because my knight can try to come in there. So he decided to trade queens, and this is just like an outright blunder. Queen to d6. Now, this is actually very funny, or I thought it was funny. For many years, when I showed this position, I explained to my audience why knight to f5 was better than knight to d5. And it's not true, but I still explained it to them. That didn't stop
Right.
me. Yeah, I got
You did it anyway,
Presidential Medal of Freedom from Trump. He was like, wow, that was great. So the reason I played knight f5 is this allows him to blunder more than knight d5 does. Knight f5 attacking his queen allows him to blunder his queen. Because I have what move winning his queen?
Bishop to f3 check.
Now, he's not going to fall for that, but even if he was, that's still a dumb reason.
Right.
Now here, he can trade queens or he can retreat his queen, stopping knight e3. However, if I had played knight d5, not allowing him to blunder his queen because my knight's defending it, then he would take my queen. So knight f5 actually gave him an extra choice. He could take my queen or he could go back here. Now, after queen takes queen, this is the definition of a Zwischenzug. Even if I pronounce it wrong, it's still the definition. I don't recapture his queen. What do I play instead?
Bishop to f3 check.
No, because that just gives the bishop away.
Yeah, but I thought maybe there was some reason to do it.
You're close. You're one square away.
Now do you go for the fork on e3?
That's right. And the reason is if king f2, I take with check again. Jesus.
And then you take the queen later.
Right. And if he moves his king somewhere, it doesn't matter where. Let's go here. Then when I take the queen, I have a lot of threats. This would have been quite nice. So I should have played knight d5 and forced him to do that. But I played knight f5, and he was like, oh, and he went here. Now, I want to go back because queen d6 is such a bad move that if I was showing this game to super grandmasters and I said, why play queen d6? They would be like, I mean, your opponent wasn't very good. And I'm like, come on, I played knight d3. Queen d6 is the kind of move where the only thing you analyze is me taking your queen. And this is a typical kind of mistaken thinking. Like, he plays queen d6, I'm going to take his queen. That's the only move my opponent analyzes. As opposed to knight f5, knight d5, which are crushing. If he saw those moves, he wouldn't play queen d6. Nobody with his rating would say, oh, knight f5, I'll just go back here. That's where he was. That's really terrible.
Yep.
Okay, now I did a fork, and this is an unusual fork. I forked something I want to take, and I forked a square that I want to go to that doesn't take anything right away, but he can't let me go there. I mean, I want to play knight e3, and he stopped me. So how do I attack e3 again with something else? Well, there's only one way to do it.
Is it now bishop to f3?
No, because you want to protect e3.
Oh, protect e3.
Right, because I want to go knight e3 check, but I got to have something protect it.
Is it queen to e5?
That's right. If you missed it the third time, you can claim a draw. That's right. Okay, so now I'm threatening his b2 pawn, and more importantly, knight e3 check, winning the exchange, and probably more. So he played king f2, stopping the knight e3 threat, and I took a pawn. Hooray! Go Ben. Okay, and he played c3. And this is something I used to talk about with my students a lot. And the engine always backs me up, but my students never believe me or the engine. They believe what they learned a long time ago, right? They're like, you know, Beth is like, let's see, green pill, resign. So then later in life, that's what she does. So in this position, black has two possible moves. Trade queens or move the queen to a3. Every book you ever read about chess, every chess coach you ever had, they tell you to make the wrong move here. For me, I wouldn't tell you that. So I have a lot of my own rules, and one of them is never trade, so that makes it easy. The other rule is if you're going to trade queens, only one thing matters, and that is whose king is safer.
Right now, it's yours.
My king is safer and never trade. So I played queen a3. As
Yep.
the engine will indicate, queen a3 is much better than queen takes queen. But chess books and chess coaches say to trade when you're ahead. That's wrong. You want to trade bad pieces for good pieces. And my queen is excellent because he has 2 isolated pawns, and I'm all up in his grill over here.
Yep.
Okay. He played one of his knights to d4. I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay. I don't want him to take my knight and double my pawns, double my pleasure. So we did this. Nice bishop. Yeah. Maybe it's just happy to see me. I don't know. Okay, he played rook b1, and I played rook c8, and now he made another blunder. This is the kind of blunder everybody makes. Everybody would make this same blunder. I control, well, first of all, I'm winning. He has an isolated pawn here. He has an isolated pawn here. My bishop's better than his knight. My king is safer than his, and I'm up a pawn. So the engine says like I'm +3. He challenged the file, which actually loses more material, surprisingly. Black can actually win material here. See if you can figure out how.
Well, let's see. I'm right now, one of the defenders of the knight on b3 is the rook on b1. So I'm guessing that if you take the rook on c1, by having to move something, the entire position kind of falls apart where things are not totally defended anymore.
That was the most correct answer I've ever gotten ever from anybody ever. Yeah.
Wow.
Appleside subscribe, thank you. Yeah. Because normally when he's challenging the file, I'm not going to give up the file. But if he takes any of these ways, he's losing material.
Right.
He probably didn't
Because
calculate
something
that. He's
becomes
just
undefended if no matter what.
Right. He's just like, Ben took the file. I challenged the file. No analysis. Now, when your opponent can capture your queen and your rook and check you, you can't say you missed that because then you're going to lose a lot. So the first question is for you, what happens on knight takes?
On knight takes, well, I mean, I guess now actually, I'm not so sure because on knight takes, I have no idea. Is it bishop takes the pawn on a2, but then the knight just takes back?
See, the whole last few moves, we were concentrating on the queen side.
Yep.
There was a lot of queen side moves being played.
Queen to f3, queen to f3.
Right, yeah. It's hard to see because you have to always look at the whole board.
Yep.
When I used to give private lessons in person, if I was giving my student a puzzle, they would often turn their head, looking at like the king side, and I would move their head back. And I had to hire a lot of lawyers for those lawsuits. But you got to look at the whole board all the time, otherwise you miss a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
because this position, sorry to use such a crass term, but it causes a massive dump of material for white.
Wow, a massive dump. Terrible. Okay, so he could play rook takes, and then I just simply win this pawn. Two connected passed pawns ahead. So he took with the queen. Got to do something. I took this pawn, because taking pawns is good. And he's in check. So he played knight to d2. He wants to trap my queen. So, for example, if it was his move, rook a1 would be annoying.
Yep.
Okay. So I played queen a5. Now rook a1's not annoying because I play queen b5 and I escape. And he can't really try to trap my queen with his knight because my bishop attacks that. The only way to attack my queen is rook a1, then queen b5, and that's it.
Yep.
He's all talk and a badge. So here he resigned. So that was one
just like that.
Just like that. And if when the players are very high-rated players and it's slow chess, that's a typical kind of resignation. He's down 2 pawns and he's worse.
Now, at this point, how long had this game been going on?
3 and a half hours,
Wow.
something like that.
And this last move you made, that move took you how long to come up with?
I mean, I saw it probably before, like, before. I'm not like knight d2. Now what do I do? When my queen's infiltrating his position, I make sure I can get out. Queen a5 is not the only winning move, but it's the best because it defends my b pawn and it gets out of there. Yeah, but okay, I can't remember exactly how many seconds I took, or can I? No.
Well, but was it a matter of seconds?
It was probably about a minute or less. Yeah, it should have been less than a minute.
Which in a 3.5 hour game is a pretty fast move.
I can't have my queen in here. Now, normally what I do when I give a chess lesson is I have an idea, and then things happen, and then I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this. And you just reminded me of how long did it take you to play queen a5. So now I'm going to show you a game that I wasn't planning on showing you, but it's pretty short. And it was played, I think 11 years ago. And definitely in Texas. Yes. Okay. So I was white. So you can flip the board again.
Yep.
And you'll see why everything reminded me of everything.
So this is a Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, it's a Slav. You can call it a Queen's Gambit.
Oh, okay.
You can call it a Queen's Gambit because it's getting pretty close to a Queen's Gambit.
Cool.
Okay, he played the A6 Slav. It's also called the Chelabinsk Variation, but since I can't pronounce that, I call it the A6 Slav. I've played every legal move in this position, but this was a round-robin tournament where you knew who you were going to play beforehand. So I prepared hours for each game. This is when I was younger. And I prepared the A4 line, which I've never played in a tournament, and I never play it. And the last time I played this was in the David Pakman tournament.
Really?
In round 2 against Atulia Shetty. I was almost Shetty out of luck, but I drew. He was my
now,
student.
who is that? Is that a notable player?
Yeah, he's 2,500 US CFIM, and he was my student before you were born.
And this person played in my tournament?
Yes. He was.
Oh, wow.
He came in 6th, I think.
What's their handle on chess.com?
Somebody in my chat tell me, well, I have 4,000 viewers. Yay. What's Atulia Shetty's handle? Somebody tell me in the chat. Somebody in my chat knows. In fact, when I saw his handle, I said, who's that? My chat told me who it was. Even though I've known him for, he's 22 years old or 23, and I've known him for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they're making jokes in my chat. Boo, boo. Oh, ASMS9699.
Okay, I remember seeing that. Yeah. I remember that.
Thank you, Barici. Yeah. Okay, and whenever I go to Michigan, we go to his family's home, and they make us vegan Indian food. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so anyway, this is my game. Now, my opponent's name in this game is Davorin Kulyasevich. So you know he's good.
Right.
With a name like that. Okay.
That's already intimidating.
I thought so, yeah. Okay, so we played this, which transposes into a Cambridge Springs variation of the Queen's Gambit.
Is that Cambridge, England, or Massachusetts?
No, Cambridge Springs, Pennsylvania, I believe.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and so with the insertion of the moves A4, A6, if those pawns were back where they started, this would be a normal Cambridge Springs.
Okay.
Okay, and I took, because this is my preparation. In my preparation, everybody took with the pawn. Everybody. My opponent took with the knight. What's funny is, with the pawns on A2 and A6, everybody takes with the A7. Everybody takes with the knight. But with A4 and A6, nobody takes with the knight. I didn't know why. Then my opponent took with the knight, so I had some fast thinking to do. And I figured out why. It's because the queen can't go to A3. If my pawn was on A2, and we played E4, getting a nice center, and my opponent wins a pawn. If my pawn's on A2 in the normal Cambridge Springs, he would play Queen A3 here. But this is different because I've played A4 and he's played A6. He can't play Queen A3. So that's why nobody does this with black. Nobody wants to get their queen trapped in here. Although my opponent did. He wanted to get his queen trapped. So that's funny. I figured it out. And in fact, there's a very, very subtle nuance which didn't happen, which is after BC3, grandmasters have had black in this position, but they didn't take this pawn. They played knight F6.
Is it a poisoned pawn?
No, he can take it. It's just bad. It doesn't lose, but it's not good. It's sort of like McDonald's. It's poison, but you still live.
Right.
Okay.
It's bad under all circumstances, but not particularly bad.
Yeah. Now the point is, if I play the obvious bishop d3, developing a piece and protecting my pawn, now when he takes with check, I can't play bishop d2 because my bishop's not defended. So every game that's ever happened in this position, black played knight f6, unbeknownst to us. My opponent just took, and I win here. And he played the only queen move. And I harassed his queen. And then I played the positional move a5, fixing his pawns. And now his pawns can't move, mainly because of the en passant rule. I would take that pawn for free.
Sure.
And none of these pawns can move. And I have this big center. His queen's no good. The engine prefers white. And now the engine says, I don't like losing my queen. So the engine moves the queen to some reasonable square, losing more time. So he's moving his queen every move. And he's winning a pawn as a consequence. But he's down 5 tempi in development. His bishop on c8 is ridiculous. His rook on a8 can't get out. I have this beautiful center. So the engine likes white. Now my opponent took all of that into account and decided not to let me have this beautiful center. And instead he blundered. He played the move c5, which attempts to poison and destroy my center. And you will know my name is the Lord when I trap your queen. I don't know if David's a Pulp Fiction fan.
So you take the pawn and then the bishop could trap the queen?
If I take the pawn, his queen can capture. And then he can escape. Then his queen has lots of options.
Okay. So you don't take the pawn.
Right, because his pawn blocked his queen. And by the way, this is an important idea for other positions. When your opponent has a piece that you're trying to trap, it's in your territory, it's on the side, it doesn't have any legal moves. Your opponent's pieces trap your opponent's piece more than yours do. Your opponent can legally take your pieces, but they can't legally take their own pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So this pawn traps the queen more than my pawn could.
So is it rook to a1 that would get this all moving?
It is rook to a1. That's correct. He has to play queen to b2 because there's no other square. And this is the move my opponent missed. Probably he thought I would keep attacking his queen and we would draw. He didn't see how I could win his queen. And the reason he didn't see I could win his queen is I can't win his queen. I need some more help. Okay, this is the Paul Morphy rule. Use all of your pieces. Which white piece has not moved yet? One you should move in the opening.
The light squared bishop.
That's correct. And if I play rook to the B file, his queen has the A file. If I play rook to the A file, his queen has the B file. However, his queen is on the B file now and can't move on the B file because I take it. I'm controlling all of those squares because of my brilliant A5 move earlier. All right. So what I want to do is attack his queen with my rook on the A file. The only way to do that is rook A2, which hangs my rook. So what move did I play? So I
Bishop
could play
to
rook A2.
c4.
Bishop c4 he didn't see, obviously, because it looks like a boring developing move.
Mm-hmm.
And what's weird is you can't stop rook A2. It's your move. No matter what move you make, I play rook A2. The queen's trapped. So my queen almost getting trapped in the last game reminded me of this game where the queen did get trapped. And in this position, my opponent resigned because he's going to lose a queen. So that's annoying when you're all grandmasters. And after the game, many people said, "Why did you draw so quickly?" And I said, "I won." They assumed that we repeated with the yeah, because usually grandmasters aren't losing in 15 moves.
Sure.
Not so quickly. But yeah,
That's some
everybody gets their
powerful
queen
stuff.
trapped. That's what happens.
Now, at an over-the-board tournament, have you ever suspected your opponent of cheating in any way?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I suspect everybody online, but nobody over the board. Thirsty
Absolutely.
Monster is rated with 92? That doesn't even make any sense. Thirsty Monster should be rating me with 2, not 92. Thanks, Thirsty Monster. You're the best except for David Pakman.
So at my level, what exactly should be sort of like my program for improving?
Well, I still have another game to show you, but okay. But you, okay, but you, to be good at chess, you have to be good at boring. And normally newer players and lower rated players don't like boring.
Okay.
They like to tell their friends, I sacrificed my queen and I smothered mated them and I under promoted and I triple checked them and I spun in a circle. They don't want to say that it was a really boring game. Then he hung a pawn, then I won the end game. They hate that. That's what grandmasters love. We love that. We don't want any complications. So in this game, my opponent was black and he played in a very insulting way.
You found it offensive.
Yeah, he moved his queen every move and tried to take a pawn. He's like, well, you're no good. I'll just move my queen every move and beat you. Right? And you see how, even though Ron moved 15, he didn't move most of his pieces. And he moved his queen a million times and got it trapped, which is very rare for somebody his rating and with such a cool name.
Fair.
So sometimes people, you know, like you're playing somebody and you're like, I want to win in this way. And that's not how you should approach chess. You approach chess by doing what you're given. If the guy gives you a mating attack, then you mate him. If he gives you 2 passed pawns, then you queen him. If the guy sacks a piece for an attack, you rebuff his attack and you're up a piece. So you do whatever the position calls for. And him moving his queen 7 times the first 15 moves for somebody his rating is silly. That's not how you play chess. That's terrible. All right, I want to show you my favorite game before you take a nap. Sleep Like a Grandmaster. I wrote a book called Sleep Like a Grandmaster, but my wife misread the title. Okay, so this was my favorite game. This is against Fidel Corrales Jimenez. That's why I like it so much, because he has such a cool name. He's from Cuba and lives in the U.S. now. And in a shock to David, he now lives in Boston.
Really?
Yeah, he lived in St. Louis for many years. He went to Webster University. Now he lives in Boston.
Interesting. I also pretend to live in Boston.
That's good. But where do you actually live?
Oh, I don't say.
That's good.
No.
Okay. So if you did live in Boston, that's the perfect hiding place.
Yeah.
Because you pretend, and then, yeah.
You know, there's a very well-known Cuban-American streamer on Twitch named Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, that's a cooler name than my guy. Damn.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him. When I was in St. Louis, I met a guy there who was like a refugee who had a blog who was famous from Cuba and escaped. And I was like, what? But I didn't know who he was. So nobody's famous to me unless they play D4 on move 1. Okay. Right. So, and by the way, are you an E4 or D4 player, David?
I've been really working on E4 for the time being.
I play E4 when I stream usually because I played D4 my whole life. I want to play something else. So, but this is
Makes
a real
sense.
game. This is in St. Louis. So this was a strong tournament in St. Louis about, I don't know, 8 years ago maybe. Do you know the name of this opening?
This is the Nimzo Indian defense.
That is correct. Named after the great grandmaster Aaron Indian.
Exactly. I only know it. That sounds hard to believe, but I only know it because chess.com is telling me.
That's right. There's a grandmaster from the 20s and 30s named Aaron Nimzovich.
Yep.
They're like, Nimzovich Indian, we got to fix that. Nimzo Indian.
Now, at my level, in these positions, I always need to be watching out for D6 loses the bishop, right? Or no, it doesn't, because there's knight to C6.
Right, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Right. Yeah. It doesn't lose the bishop here, but right, you have to watch out for queen A4 check. Now, that reminded me of a game I played in Belgium in 1989.
Oh, I don't want to throw you off into that.
That game was 6 moves long, and the guy was rated 1900.
That may be a good one for us then.
Yeah, this is a game I played in Belgium. My opponent played B6. I played queen A4 check, and he resigned.
Yep.
Because, as you said, knight C6, well, he undefended C6.
Right.
And obviously, from a psychological point of view, when your opponent plays queen C2, you're no longer worried about queen A4 check.
Right, a subsequent move on the same diagonal.
Yeah. Okay, so Fidel played C5, and I traded. And I've had this position many times. Now, this is one of the harder questions I'm going to ask you. There's a blunder here that I haven't made yet, because I show it a lot. So That blunder is bishop g5. This is a typical tactic that you need to know in lots of different positions.
Okay,
And
as
once
white.
again, the bishop isn't defended, so that should like the bells go off. Black has a winning trick.
Is it to move the knight, which has a discovered attack on the? Oh no! If you move the knight, then you just lose the queen. What am I talking about?
You talking to me? I don't see anybody else here. I guess you're talking to me.
I'm not sure.
Is David old enough to get these references? Z Big Niff 100.
I'm concentrating so hard.
Thirsty Monster 25 centidues. That's 23 centidues more than usual. David, where's all your viewers? I'm confused. Don't you get 1 million viewers? You're so popular.
Would the problem be taking politics? I think we've got a problem with our connection all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was bad. Now it's good. That happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's probably you take the f2 pawn, king takes, queen check on b6. No, wait, yes. And then, no, not even that. I'm sorry. It's check with knight on e4, which you have to then deal with, and then you lose the bishop.
You mispronounced the letter G and pronounced it as E.
Oh.
Yeah, knight e4 doesn't work because I can take the knight.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the knight has to go to
with the
g4.
knight and defend my bishop. But you're right. Bishop f2 is right. Yeah.
Yep.
That knight g4 check, and then you take the bishop.
Right.
Okay. I don't play bishop g5 for that reason. So knight
Beautiful.
f3, and then I play bishop g5. Now my bishop's defended. Now knight d4 is the book move that most grandmasters play, but he played in a very passive way. He played h6 and then retreated his bishop. So it's weird to play bishop b4, bishop c5, bishop e7. It's not aggressive. Bishop on c5.
Now, at the higher level, this is a good instructive moment. Mm-hmm. At the higher level, do you tend not to see this pawn move and this sequence? Is it just a waste of time?
Right. And again, those are moves that are attractive to low-rated players because they're one-move attacks.
Right.
And that's not something you want to do. If you play g5, it's because you have other purposes. Okay? So let me give you an example. In 1990 in Iceland, I played a grandmaster. He was so upset for losing to me, he quit chess and became a lawyer. I'm not even kidding. That's what happened. Okay. And twice in my life, I've had grandmasters put their head down and shake their head after a move I've made because they were so upset. And this was the first time. So the moves themselves don't matter so much, but okay, so takes here, rook e8. Okay, in this position, my opponent played queen a4, which loses the game. And that's why what you said reminded me of this. What move were we just talking about? And I said, no, you wouldn't do that.
g5.
Right. And g5 is winning, and I played g5, and my opponent put his head down and shook his head forever. The Swedish grandmaster, Ferdinand Hellers. And the reason is, as we discussed earlier, my queen is attacking his knight, and his knight is defended by his knight. It was defended by his queen, but he moved his queen away. Mm-hmm. So now after the obvious bishop g3, I play g4, and he's going to lose one of his knights. Right. I'm either going to take with the pawn, or I'm going to take that one. Yay, 200 centidues. Thank you. So that was a game I won a long time ago. But I remember that g5, g4 idea. If you play g5, it's to do something else, not because you like playing g5.
Got it. So just moving the opponent's bishop twice, like forcing the opponent to move their bishop twice like that. Unless you have some bigger plan, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
Got it.
All right, I'm getting confused here. There's too many variations. What was I? Oh, I was showing you this. So it's
And now you were a grandmaster in 1990?
No, I was an international master.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so bishop e7. Oh, I like to tell this story because it lasts like 10 seconds. When I was in Reykjavik at this tournament, we left Reykjavik at some point. We got on the plane. They de-iced the plane. It was 30 below zero. We flew 4.5 hours to Luxembourg, 70 degrees above zero.
Yep.
100-degree difference on a 4.5. That was amazing to me.
That's
Okay.
bizarre.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Okay, so I played E3. Now he did something where in this kind of opening, which happens a lot in queen pawn openings, black has a problem with this bishop on C8. This happens all the time in a lot of queen pawn openings. So he fianchettos his bishop. And normally when you do this, you prefer your knight to be on D7, not on C6. There's several reasons for that. Obviously, you're not blocking the bishop. The other thing is your rook's going to go to C8, so you're not blocking the rook either. So this is sort of a bad variation of what's called the hedgehog, where the pawn's on D6, the knight's on D7, and black is sort of chilling and just being really solid. Yay, Codex gave 10 subs. Don't forget to give David subs and bits and nibbles and bits. And
A lot's happening over there.
Perrier. And, yeah, okay. Okay, so this is the half-open file I have. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Sure.
Which piece goes on the open and half-open file?
The rook.
The rook is on fire. Okay, so I doubled up on the D file, and he was afraid of knight B5. I don't blame him, so he played A6. And if his knight was on D7, this would be just a standard hedgehog position for black. Lots of grandmasters would have that structure. The knight on C6 is a little weird because it's blocking the bishop, blocking the rook, and it's not blocking my rooks to his queen. Now, the theme of this game is overworked. Now, David knows a lot about overworked. I'm guessing you get up before I do and go to sleep after I do. Well, you probably don't go to sleep after I do. But you probably work
That I
like
don't
14.
know. That I don't know.
You probably work 14 hours a day.
Oh God, no. I mean, rarely. If there's like, some crazy debate
No,
going
but
on.
I'm talking about work like preparatory, like you're actually thinking about what you're doing later, reading.
Thinking about, okay, if you include thinking, then
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you would never see me. Nobody's ever accused me of thinking.
Fair.
Okay, thinking's not my strong suit.
That's interesting though. I read that grandmasters can burn 60,000 calories during a match just from brain use.
I read Trump won the election, but I don't think you did. Yeah. Yeah, I usually don't believe that nonsense, but when they say something that makes me look good, I believe it like that. When I was watching Queen's Gambit, even though Beth was already good, somebody said Grandmaster this, and she said, "What's a Grandmaster?" Which was a strange comment. And he said, "A Grandmaster is a genius." And I said, "This is a show I want to watch. That's my kind of show." Okay, now the rest of the game, I'm going to explain overworked to you.
Okay.
Overworked is when a piece is doing too much. Okay, now, remember what I told you earlier in the lesson. The most important thing is what's attacked and defended.
Yes.
Now, in a shock to the system, this is very rare. Nothing in my position is attacked. He has no legal captures.
Right.
Shocking. Okay, I must be good. And I have 2 legal captures. And sometimes I'm wrong. It'd be like, what about that? I'll be like, oh yeah. Taking on D6 and F6. And you'll notice the bishop is defending both of them. So the bishop is overworked.
Right.
So which one did I capture? Thanks to all
Well,
my
now hold
people
on a
who are
second. What
donating.
about, you've got black has the G pawn as well, right? So
that's right.
Yeah.
So he's forced to take with the G pawn.
Okay.
And then his king is a little iffy.
Yep.
Okay. Now he stopped knight B5. So I played knight E4. And then I got a lot of pressure on D6. You can't defend the D pawn. It's not possible. So he counterattacked because he's a grandmaster. Now, when this game was played, he was about 100 points higher than me.
Yep.
So he was, the favorite. Okay. So if he's not going to defend his pawn, David, how does he counterattack? How can he attack something?
Knight to B4?
That is correct. And that's a double attack, or triple almost. Here, here, here. Terrible. Okay, I played queen B1, defending everything. Mm-hmm. And now he overworked me, hoisted by my own petard. He captured the knight and then captured the pawn. Although that would be called a Pyrrhic victory because his favorite, is Pyrrhus. I don't know why. That's his favorite. Okay. And his knight's terrible on A2. His kingside pawn structure is ruined. And my pieces are all great.
Okay, now let me ask you, at
Yes.
what level would you in this position no longer even be threatening mate in one with bishop to d3? Like, at what point does that not even become worth it?
Bishop d3 is an excellent move.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. When you play bishop d3 threatening mate in one at a higher level, you're not doing it to threaten mate in one. That's not why you're playing it. You're playing it because you know the move your opponent will play to stop mate in one makes his position worse. And you're like, yes, that's good.
And you're forcing a certain path.
Right. And the engine loves the move bishop d3. Says it's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Yeah. But you're not like playing it and hoping they don't see it. Now, if you're playing bullet chess, blitz chess, even the best players would do something like that as a hope. And what I do, if I'm playing a really fast time control, if I want to set up a very elementary checkmate, I wait. So if I want to play, if bishop d3, this is the first opportunity I have to play that move, I would play like b3 attacking their knight maybe, or
Get the
h3.
attention off of that, maybe.
Yeah, then I play bishop f1 and then, yeah. That's just me being tricky though. That's too advanced for this, yeah. Okay, I played knight d4, which is about as good as bishop d3. And I have two threats. He didn't see both of my threats. He only saw one of them. The obvious one is knight c6, attacking his queen. His queen moves. I take his bishop, and then d6 is insufficiently protected. My rooks can gobble him up.
Yep.
He saw that. He didn't see the other threat. And he's like, my knight on a2 is terrible. Knight c6 is a threat. He wasn't a vegan. So he killed two birds and played knight b4. The correct move is to stop both threats. Now, this is the second best overworked of the game, because one of the overworks is a piece or a pawn, and the other one is a square. So if I had access to the g6 square, you would agree queen g6 check is annoying.
Yep.
So you don't know annoying like I do. I've been married 3 times.
Now you could create that by just taking the e6 pawn, right?
Man, you're a good student. No wonder they're donating to me. That's right. He didn't see knight takes e6. Now, a lot of grandmasters, when the game is over, they saw everything. Okay, they're just lies. They're fake news. Okay.
They're dishonest, fundamentally.
Right. Now, Fidel is not dishonest. When the game ended, he was just telling the truth. When the game ended, since we were at the St. Louis Chess Club, and since he played for Webster, we analyzed the game afterwards with me, him, Ray Robson, Yasser Sarawan, Wesley So, and some better players. Although not really better players. We had like 6 GMs analyze this game. Okay, and he was laughing, having a good time. He's a nice guy. Most grandmasters don't laugh and have a good time when you steal their soul from them. Okay, and what he said after the game was he didn't even see queen g6 check. He thought I was taking this. He wasn't concerned about that. Then when I played here, he's like, oh, I'm concerned about that. And that's just removing the guard. His pawn is defending 2 squares, so I take on e6. What he should have done is probably played either f5 or queen d7. The engine says it's bad for him anyway, but not this bad. Now I'm going to surprise you later because we're going to go back to this position. And I'm going to tell you something you won't believe. All right, so I checked. And now I have 2 ways to try to mate him. The obvious way is rook to d4 to play rook h4. Now the difference between grandmasters and much lower rated players, we see the same stuff. Like, you're like, yeah, rook h4 mate. Yeah, I see that. But you have to see how the opponent defends. The grandmaster thinks it's very important to be objective. And the lower rated player is like, I sacked my queen and I mated him. And I'm like, your queen sack's unsound. And the guy's like, no, I won. That's what they result. They don't care about the truth. Grandmasters care about the truth because the truth hurts. So after rook d4, David, how do you stop rook h4 mate? Exactly.
Is it pawn to f5?
It is pawn to f5, right. Now this is still good for white, but it's not winning. Okay, so I played a better move. bishop to g4. I obviously want to play bishop takes e6
Yep.
with queen h6 mate, or queen h6 and then bishop e6. What two moves can he play that stop my threats? He's got two possibilities. You have to find them both. Then we'll refute them both later.
Well, let's see. Queen to d7.
Very good. That's what he played.
And then what else would stop
Queen
that?
d7 is the best move. That's good.
F5.
F5, right. After F5, which he did not play, thanks, Fen Beingold. Fen Beingold said, you're a very strong player, and he's 2,300. So he's not messing around.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And he gave me 5,000 centidues, which is good because the blue thing. Okay. So now I check, so I can take with check again, and then the F pawn falls.
Right.
And then I'm threatening queen takes rook, and queen g6 check, and the engine says white's completely winning.
Yep.
He played queen to d7. Now, you remember earlier, about 2 minutes ago, I said, after rook d4, how do you stop rook h4? And you said f5.
Yep.
So if he's going to stop me, I'm going to stop him first. I'm going to make the move f5 illegal.
By pinning the pawn somehow?
Can't do that.
You're going to make it illegal.
Yeah, I'm going to make it so the pawn can't move.
Can't move?
Can't move. I'm going to make this pawn not be able to move. Use the force.
Is. I mean, so e4 would threaten to take the pawn, but it doesn't prevent it from moving.
Right, so that's not it. It's a move you don't want to make because it looks stupid. That's why you're not looking at it. You're like, that's dumb, not doing that. But
is it just blocking it with the bishop? I don't know.
Right.
Then it is.
You have to agree rook h4 mate gives white the advantage. So my
Yes.
bishop doesn't really matter if I mate him.
Right, that's true.
And bishop here also threatens mate, by the way.
Oh, that's true.
So he took my bishop, and I played rook d4. So I'm looking good, right?
Yeah, this seems almost as illegal as some of the discounts I've given before.
Exactly. Now rook h4 is annoying. So he played f4, blocking my rook, and then f5, as we mentioned before, stopping this mate.
Yep.
The difference is my rook's on f4, not on d4. And if you're a fan of Tombstone, I got two rooks, one for each of you.
Sure.
In the earlier variation, my rook's on d4, so I can't play. Okay. Now, he played the obvious move, stopping rook h4. Not the best move, but the obvious move. How do you stop rook h4 mate?
How do you stop rook h4 mate?
You better defend h4 again.
Queen to d8?
That's what he played. Okay. When the game ended, I said, you should play rook c7. He looked at me like I was insane. Not because of the suggestion. He knows I'm insane.
Just because of other things you were doing.
Right. Okay, and then I showed him this variation. And then I fork his rook and knight. He has to save his rook because that's worth more than the knight. Also, it's mate. And then I take his knight, and I'm like 5,000 pawns ahead. And when I showed him that, he said, but you're winning here. I said, yeah, I know, but it's better than what you did. And he said, oh, okay. Now, what's important about that position? I told you I was going to go back. In this position, I saw that position.
Really? Now, as you told me earlier that grandmasters will often lie about that.
That's correct. I didn't lie about that. I lie about other stuff. No. Right,
Wait a second. You're saying it was hold on. When your claim that grandmasters lie was true, but you were not lying in what you just said.
It doesn't mean that we're always lying, just sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Fair.
So when I played knight takes e6, you can talk to the people on my stream. When I'm playing slow chess, I never, ever, ever, ever sacrifice. You can't find a game I sacrificed. When I play on the internet, I just stack all my pieces and laugh. Okay. But in real life against grandmasters, I never sacrifice. So if I do, you're losing.
Right.
That means I figured it all out.
You've thought that far ahead.
Right. So because to me, it was all forced. To me, there wasn't like he had a choice. Okay. Like this, he has to take, he has to play f4. And here I saw rook c7. which he didn't see even here. Okay, and then that variation I showed you, which I'm sure you've memorized already. And then I take, and okay. So he played queen d8. Now, actually, I don't know the answer to this question. I have no idea what you're going to say to me, David. Have you heard of a chess variant called Bug House?
Yeah, but I don't remember what that is. That the one where the your pieces start on random squares?
No, that's chess 960.
Okay.
Bug House is 2 against 2. And then when you take a piece, you give it to your partner who has the other color, and now that's his piece. So
Okay.
you have it. Yeah, it's on the internet too. Anyway, in Bug House, sometimes you think like a Bug House player. You think about what you want to do, but you can't do, then you do it. So I wanted to play Rook H4, but he won't let me. He's mean. But I don't have to play Rook H4. I could play Rook H7, Rook H6, Rook H5, Rook H3. If I was playing Bug House and my partner gave me a rook, I could just put it on H7 and say mate.
Yep.
There's a lot of attacking in Bug House because you're getting replenished with pieces. While this isn't Bug House, this is real life. It doesn't seem like it with Trump, but it is. So how can I get my rooks to one of those other squares that's not H4?
I guess you could. Well, you couldn't really take on F5 because then the rook just takes back. Oh, and then you take the rook though, but that wouldn't make sense. So maybe you can take on F5.
I could, but I'm trading rooks. I don't want to trade pieces when I'm down 2 pieces and mating them. Keep pieces on the board.
How else do you get a rook to H5, for example? I mean, do you go back to F3 and then over?
Exactly. Always retreat, always repeat, then always retweet.
Wow.
So Rook F3, threatening Rook H3 mate.
Right.
Okay, now, there's 2 occasions in my life when I think back to chess games and I start to cry. This is one of them. The other one was when I drew Smearin.
Sorry, when you did what?
When I think back about chess things that I did and I start to cry.
Yeah, no, but you drew smearing?
Yeah, Smearin is a player you may not have heard of.
Oh, no, I thought you meant you were drawing something and it smeared.
Oh, that also happened. No, Ilyas Smearin is an Israeli grandmaster who many years ago was USCF rated 2895. And the year that I drew him in the World Open, he beat Karpov and Kramnik with black. So he was pretty good. He was winning all the American tournaments. He was completely winning against me. Completely winning. And I drew the game. When I drew the game, for the only time in my life, I got a standing ovation from the audience.
Is that common in chess?
It's never happened. I've never drawn anybody good. And my friend Aviv, who's some of my friends, he's a FIDE master, he was in the audience, and when the game ended, he said, I would have bet my left nut you'd lose that game. So it's a good thing he didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is the great moment. So I'm going to play Rook H3 and mate him. Right? So he played the move F4. And now my rook can't go to H4.
Yep.
So if I play Rook H3, he plays Bishop H4. Now the reason this is so great is this is the greatest move ever. And it was at a tournament, and my son was playing in the tournament. My son's a master also. And he walked up to the board at this very point and was watching the game, and I played this move. That's why you have children. Now, if you remember the theme of the game, it's overworked.
Yep.
The bishop and the queen must defend H4 because Rook H3 is mate if you don't. What else are they defending, David?
They are defending both of them. I guess they're defending the F6 square.
That's correct, but they're defending something physical, something on the board.
They're defending
a piece
the
or
rook on
opponent's-
F8.
That's correct. That's right. And one other thing, you got me with your technical mumbo jumbo.
The pawn.
Right. So I played Rook takes D6, confusing the audience.
Yep.
He can't take either way because Rook H3 would be mate. He can't move his queen because Rook H3 is mate. He doesn't want me taking his queen. And also I can mate him with that rook. When the game ended, I told him rook c6 was the best move. And I was right. And it says I'm plus 25.
Wow.
So that's not good. Okay, he played bishop h4, and this is the part of the game where I messed up. I played a longer mate than was necessary. So I saw queen h6. I didn't play it. I saw rook g6. I saw rook g7. And in my head, I have two really easy wins here. I didn't see either one of them. So I didn't play this. You have two really quick checkmates here. I didn't see either one. See if you can find one of them.
Is one of them check on h5?
That's correct.
No.
That's
oh,
correct.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he has to go here and it's mate.
Right.
Or
okay.
I could play
Yep.
queen g6. Same thing. I only
Okay.
saw queen e6, and after this, I didn't know what to do, which is correct. I don't know what to do.
Interesting.
Okay. So I played a longer mate, which was actually very funny. I checked on h5 instead of h6. And in this position, the engine says queen f6 is the best move. That's when you know you're in trouble.
Giving away the queen is the best move.
Right. Well, it's mate in 3. Queen f6 is mate in 4. So,
Got it.
okay, he played king e7. And I played queen e5 check. And now he resigned.
Yep.
Now, before we discuss that, let's look at the only legal move, king d7. White has 2 checkmates and 2 moves. Try to find one of them.
Let's see. Is it check on d6 with the queen?
That is correct. And then?
And then rook to e4?
No, because he could block then. He's got 2 blocks.
Oh, okay.
He takes David Pakman to block.
Oh, is it queen to f8?
Then his king can go back to d7 because the queen's not
Okay.
d6 anymore. You found the hard move, not the easy move. I like that. Queen d6 was the hard move.
Is it rook
I
to
have-
e6?
I have 5,000 viewers. It's still, you can still block.
Is it rook captures on f8?
What do you think? Yeah, that's right. The other mate is funny. That's one of the mates. That's the mate I was going to play. Rook d4 is funny because his king has no legal move. The reason it's funny is, remember that knight that went to a2 5,000 moves ago?
Right,
Now he
it can
go
block now.
here. And then mate.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yay, I finally broke 5,000. Who is David? He's the guy who beat Goliath. How could you not know? Come on. So that's my favorite game because I played well and the guy was really good and everybody saw it. Now I have to tell you a prologue, or is it a postscript? What is it? I'm talking, so it's neither, right? Anyway, the next round I played a very strong player. Okay, Georg Meyer.
Were they
from
were they
Germany.
11 years old?
What's that?
Were they 11 years old?
No, he was in his 20s. He's a German grandmaster. He's number 2, 3, or 4 in Germany, depending on what year it is. He's much better than me. However, he had the misfortune of seeing me play this game against the guy on his team. So we played the next morning, and I moved like 15. He offered me a draw. He was like, I don't want any of that, which is ridiculous. He's much better than me. And then I drew him.
It was he was intimidated
No,
psychologically.
for sure, because
Yeah.
I mean, like he would drool knowing he's playing me. I mean, this game was so good that he was like, man, that's pretty good. I want to play that guy. And sometimes people are on fire. Sometimes you play Eric Rosen and you're like, oh, Eric Rosen's in last place in this round robin. That's my easy point. And sometimes you're like, oh, Rosen's killing it. I got to draw him this tournament because he's too good. That happens.
Well, I've seen Rosen just on a whim enter some online tournament with 20 minutes to go and win it outright.
Yeah. Right. Those guys like Bartholomew, Rosen, Levy, sometimes they're just on fire and sometimes they're not. And then when you're playing in a round robin where everybody's good, after round 4, 5, or 6, you're like, haha, that guy's having a bad tournament and that guy's on fire. So you got to, adjust.
Do you feel like there's this whole thing about chess ratings over the lives of grandmasters, and it seems like mid to late 30s you start to see a decline.
Yeah, it's actually getting younger and younger now.
The decline is starting younger and younger.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad said 35 was like your peak, which I agree with. And now it's probably somewhere between 27 and 30 is the peak.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and I talked to Karpov about it once at dinner. It was Karpov and Sarawan. When Sarawan was on my stream, I referred to that dinner, and Sarawan's like, "We had dinner," so it was just the three of us, and I paid. So I guess anyway.
So he remembers games from 30 years ago, but he forgot the dinner.
Yeah, he's like, "I ate with you and Karpov." See, and the reason he should remember is he played a match with Karpov in St. Louis, and the night before the match, I took them out to dinner, and I was shocked. They were both throwing the beers down. And I was like, "Man, those guys are playing tomorrow." Yeah. I was surprised at how many beers Karpov had. But anyway, I asked Karpov, which is not something I would usually do. I said, "Are you as good as you were, 30 years ago? And if not, why?" Like, you're 60. Now he's almost 70. And he said, I understand chess just as well as when I was world champion, but there's no energy at all. I can't, when I used to play, when I was the world champion, I'd play 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever.
Right.
This is now, like, I'll play good and then, it stops. Like, too
well,
old.
I read an interesting article yesterday by Jonathan Rowson.
The Scottish Grandmaster, yeah.
Yeah, and he writes interestingly. I mean, he's not very old right now, but he writes that what he found lacking was like he wasn't getting the flow state from the concentration, so it was more of a lack of interest, less so than like the physical ability
You're definitely
to concentrate.
hungrier when you're younger. Yeah, then when life beats you down, it's hard to be so hungry. Yeah.
That's interesting.
No, I mean, it's true. Like when you're in your teens and 20s, you're like, where's that next tournament? I can't wait for the next tournament. And then, when you're older, you're like, I could go to the tournament, but I don't know. The planes are tough. I don't know. Yeah. And that's why Korchnoi was so good at an old age. He had the fire. I mean, he always wanted to play. He always wanted to win. When he lost, he was mad and would throw the pieces and swear at his opponent. That's how he kept so strong.
But would it be right to say that for less good players, where if you're 2,500, 2,700, 2,900, even a little bit of lack of concentration or focus against the people you'd be playing against means you're going to start losing a lot of games.
That's right.
Is it conceivable that for players who are casual, where you could be 1,200 and then 13 and then 14 and then 15, not see the drop off because you're at a completely different level?
That's right. You can get better and better and better. And I've seen it.
Interesting.
You can just keep improving. You don't expect somebody in their 50s or 60s to go from like 1,800 to 2,300. But, anything that's like less than 1,400 to even up to 2,000 or more, that could happen all the time. Yeah, you're just getting better because you're learning a lot of stuff. And when you've already learned a lot and you've sort of reached your peak, you're just trying not to get worse.
Right.
I mean, which is hard because your board vision, your rapidity of calculation and speed is just, I don't see anything anymore. I used to see stuff. I don't see nothing. So I trade all the pieces, get into a drawn ending and try to win because I can win those. I'm old. But my experience counts for something. But when it's tactical, if I want to play correctly, I'm just going to lose on time. And earlier that wasn't the case. But if I'm in a tactical melee with like a 13-year-old, if I want to play at the same level, I'm going to lose on time.
Interesting.
I'm going to blunder. But if I trade all the pieces, get a boring position, that's fine. Then I got them because they don't have the experience of those positions. Lost you there for a second. Man, it sounds like I'm streaming with Logic now.
Decline of Garry Kasparov has been exaggerated.
Okay, I heard
I
Garry
was saying,
Kasparov
I've seen stuff about people. Oh, we lost Ben for a second.
Yeah, I lost you for
He's
about
been
a
what?
minute. I heard Garry Kasparov is exaggerated. That's it.
Is his decline exaggerated?
No, Kasparov can't even play anymore. It's terrible. Compared to
Really? What does that
he,
mean?
When he retired, he didn't have to retire. He could have been like the same level he was, but he saw the decline coming. Now, I know Kasparov when he was Kasparov. Thanks for the 1,500, Fun Beingold. When Kasparov was at the best, it was another level of humanity. It's something I can't describe to you. how good he was. He saw everything. And now I just want to tell him, like, look at the bunnies. I mean, he was easily the best player in the world. And watching him analyze with other grandmasters, he made them look like beginners. He saw everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, now, no, if he went into time machine and went back 15 years, he would get totally crushed now.
Wow.
Crushed.
Wow.
Yeah, crushed. Man, was he good. See, my dad played Fischer in 63, David, and when they analyzed the game afterwards, it sounded like Kasparov. Fischer saw everything all the way to the end of the game, every variation. And I've seen that with Kasparov, and I've seen it with Kramnik, and I've seen it with Anand. And I've seen all the best players in the world analyze all the time. And those are the only three I've seen like that. Kasparov, Kramnik, and Anand. When Anand was younger, he saw every legal move in every position, all the way to the end. It was it was unbelievable.
So your dad, you, and your son are all very strong chess players.
Yeah, my dad passed away 6 years ago. He was 35th in the U.S. at his best. And you forgot my brother. How could you? My brother's actually peak rating, he's the second highest in the family. He was 23-15 maybe USCF.
So, okay, I mean, you could say firsthand, I guess, at least to some degree, is that culture and growing up around it, or do you believe there's a genetic component here?
I don't believe in genetic anything. Yeah, I believe you work hard or you grow up around it, right? Yeah, I believe that if we didn't grow up around it, then that, I'd be doing something else now. Yeah, I think, if you're introduced at a young age and you enjoy it and you're in the right atmosphere, then, you can get good. It's harder when you're older. It's possible. It's just, a lot of people
it's interesting because, you would imagine, I mean, sometimes it's about availability bias, right? So like in the sense of there's this huge debate over, people like to say, are Ethiopians genetically better runners? And there may or may not be a genetic component, but part of it is there's a culture of running. Right. So people figure out if they're good. Like there could be a ton of runners in Iowa that would be amazing. But if there's not a culture of everybody runs, you don't get to sort out who's good. Mm-hmm. It's sort of similar where like when people talk about this race and IQ stuff, they love to talk about the NBA, but they rarely say, are white people genetically better at hockey? Because look at all the white people in the NHL. And a lot of it is availability and who's playing the game so you can figure. Oh, I meant, I guess, not Ethiopians. I meant Kenyans. Kenya? I said Ethiopians, but I guess I meant Kenyans.
Yeah, I thought with Kenya. I was going to correct you, but, Ethiopia has great food. I mean, fantastic.
But anyway, so the idea of like, if everybody's trying chess in Russia, mm-hmm. you're going to figure out who is predisposed to be better.
No, and basically it's cold and people didn't know how to read. So there was a lot of chess in Russia. And then, there were no good players. Then there was Chigorin. And then, then they got good. I mean, if you have the right environment and there's a lot of people are doing it, then there's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in that, like your environment and your, how you're brought up, like if that's considered, something that you should be doing. The problem in the U.S. we've had for many years, which is getting rectified by Rex Singfield, basically, is, a lot of the best players in the U.S. as teenagers are of Asian descent, either Chinese or Indian. And those are the best players in the U.S. between the ages of like 11 and 17. And then once you get to the best players in the U.S. in their 20s and 30s, there are no such people. Because they all quit chess and go to college. All of them. And so the first one that didn't do that, who's world class, is Jeffrey Zhang. Jeffrey Zhang, I was like, I don't think he's going to quit chess. I think his dad wants him to play chess. And most parents aren't like that. Most parents are like, okay, you had chess, that was fun. Now it's time to go to Harvard. And so, by the way, that's sort of the Atulya Shetty story. I mean, he was really good and he went to Michigan and has a job and he works now.
Well, this is sort of like there's a very interesting Netflix documentary about the success of Indian American kids in the spelling bee. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting because a lot of people are very quick to saying that it's primarily a genetic thing. But then when you understand that the Indian Americans that came from India were more likely to be from certain families that value certain endeavors differently, and you've got the the immigrant bias of higher who chooses to immigrate, and then you realize that there's actually this huge cultural component to it.
Yeah, in fact, now this is half jokingly, so people don't yell at me on the stream. The Shetty family, I'm really good friends with them for many years. The kid that was playing in the tournament, is that a kid anymore? I asked the dad once, how come like Asians are smart and Americans like me are stupid? And he said, that's not it at all. Says, the Asians who come to the US, they're pretty smart. We leave the dumb ones back there. You know, we're talking in jest, but he's like, you don't meet an average Indian or Chinese person in the US. You meet an average one that's like really successful. And so, you know, when it comes to like mathematics or chess or music, and you see that, and you're like, yeah, but a lot of it is the culture, as you said. The culture.
Yeah, with
like,
immigration, it's so tough because we know so much that the people who choose to immigrate are all, there's a huge self-selection bias there already. And so you're already, people talk about, Iranian immigrants who are successful, Jewish immigrants who are successful.
I mean, they're
and a
driven
lot of it just
already
has
to come here, so that's the kind of people they are. They're driven.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's
By
super
the way,
interesting.
speaking of Iran, if you asked me 10, 15, 20 years ago, how about that Iranian chess? I would have been like, what are you talking about? Now, if you ask him, I'm like, damn, those Iranian chess players are pretty good. I mean, there's really good chess players in Iran.
Yep.
I don't know why. There's really good chess players there. They got good players.
Interesting.
I mean, and I don't know how that happened. Just all of a sudden, and Vietnam a little bit too. Vietnam wasn't playing chess, and now they're pretty good. So I guess the culture embraces chess. And because of Rex Singfield and the St. Louis Chess Club, there's a lot of good American chess players now. And also a lot of them went for the Susan Polgar's thing in Texas Tech and at Webster. So there's just a lot of good chess players in the U.S. now.
That is fascinating
more
stuff.
More opportunity. It's great.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ben, I really appreciate the lesson. I'm going to continue working to find ways to avoid humiliation in endgame positions that should be completely winning for me. And
yeah, I mean, you just have to play a lot of chess. The more you play, the better you'll get.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
That's what I read. So how long do you usually stream?
I'm on Chess TV until 11. So okay. That gives me thousands more viewers than when I'm not on Chess TV.
Sure.
So I'll stream till like 11:30 or so.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. All right. Well, listen, let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks a lot, David. That was awesome.
All right. Hope your audience was able to tolerate my novice nature.
No, they actually were complimenting you left and right.
That's a shock.
Mainly left, but
yeah, that I don't believe. Yeah. But all right, cool. Thanks, Ben. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, David.
Okay. See ya.
You guys can stay here. I have to click this button. Let's see if that worked. Yay, some weird number. I don't know if it worked, but it might have. 999 centidues from Mepex. Let's see. Do I have to hang up on Zoom? Probably. Zoom. All right, end of the meeting. 200 centidues, Tisker Tasker. Go Trump. That was an awesome collaboration. Thank you. People told me for an hour the volume was the same. Then the second hour, they were like, somebody's louder than somebody else. 100 centidues. So I want to apologize. I didn't really thank anybody for anything, which I can do now. But, I mean, I was talking to David, and we were having a lesson. So I don't even know what you guys did. I heard some noises. Freddie Potzer, 100 bits. Tisker Tasker, 200. Mepex, 999. WT Hidden gifted a sub. I did the Big Niff, 104 bits. Fen Beingold gave a lot of bits twice. 5,000 and 1,500. Matthew Escalin, 300 bits. Codex gave a lot of subs. I'm not sure how many. 5, 10. $5 from CL Smith. $20 from Scary. I might have mentioned some of these people. Bradford gifted 5 subs, maybe. Tisker Tasker gifted subs. GM Evil Morty did, etc. Mainly etc. You guys are the best. No, David's actually pretty good considering I think his rating is somewhere around between 1,000 and 1,100. He was solving some of the more difficult questions that I posed him. 300 Sentadues from Somewhat Trying to Learn. Yeah, no, he did better than I expected. Yeah. What did your dad think about Fisher? He thought Fisher played pretty well. Yeah. Pakman 2,500 on the other website. 1,000 Sentadues. Z Bigniff. Getting kids interested in chess? Bring those chess sets there. Yeah, if you want your kids to be interested in chess, bring some chess sets home. Put some chess sets in school. Talk about chess. Don't show your 2 daughters the Queen's Gambit unless they're 18 and over. And even then, I don't know. Maybe 25. 200 Sentadues, Curious Chimpanzee. Can you become a GM if you started playing in your 30s? No. You can never become a GM. Nobody's ever going to be a GM. Star Wars chess set is good. I got my son Spencer the Simpsons chess set when he was 4. 500 Sentadues. FRR Mac. Man, I really like Rook takes D6. Man, I like that move. Now, not only did I show this game to you guys and David Pakman, but in St. Louis, I was hanging out with Magnus one evening, and we were just showing each other chess stuff. Mainly, I was showing him. And I remember I showed him this game, and I said, here, I played Rook D6. The difference is, I didn't have to explain anything to Magnus. I just showed him the game. $9. Thanks, Bishop Takes. Yeah, Magnus said that was a good game. I showed Magnus a few things, but he likes some puzzles and stuff. But I had to show him this game because this is my favorite game. And the reason is, like, my opponent was higher rated than me, and I played well. It wasn't because I won. I've won a lot of games that were very suspicious. You've seen my stream. You know what I'm talking about. But this game was not suspicious. I just played great. In fact, and by the way, I'm almost 100% sure that I repeated every possible time I could, but I didn't show them. Like, I would play Queen H6, Queen G6, then play Rook, and then Bishop G4, then Queen 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't show the repetitions that I did, but I did a lot of them. Yeah. Like, instead of Bishop G4, I repeat, then play Bishop G4, then repeat, then play Bishop F5, then repeat, then play Rook D4. Like, I'm sure I did that every possible chance I could. Why is Magnus not like Vishy and Kasparov Kramnik? I don't know. I'm not Vishy. I'm not Magnus. I'm me. I don't know. Magnus doesn't see as much as those guys, but Magnus understands the positions better. Magnus understands chess better than Kramnik, Kasparov, and Anand, but he doesn't see as much as they do. I mean, Karpov sees less than anybody, but he understands better than everybody. Also, Karpov sees a lot. He just pretends like he doesn't see anything, but he sees a lot. I mean, understanding is very important. Calculation is very important, and putting them together is very important. If you're not going to calculate a million moves ahead, but you're only going to calculate a little, if you have the best understanding in the world, like Magnus does, then you put them together, your understanding and your limited calculation. When I say limited, he's maybe like the 10th best who ever lived in calculation. He's not as good as the guys who were the best. But understanding of positions for somebody like Karpov or Carlsen or Petrosian is also very important. If you show Karpov a position and he's like 67 years old, he might explain it better to you than like Wesley So. And Wesley's like, oh yeah, I didn't understand that. But then Wesley wins because he sees 100 moves ahead and Karpov doesn't. Harsh. Truth hurts. Alpha Migo subscribed. Hooray. The best calculators? Fisher, Kasparov, Kramnik, Anand. I'm not even sure who's 5th. Yasser would know. I don't know. Yasser's analyzed with those guys. Naka's pretty good. I've seen Naka analyze when he was younger. He sees, in tournaments he sees really deep. Obviously in Blitz, you can't really show, Yeah. Yeah, Naka could see a million moves ahead. Wesley can see a million moves ahead. Wesley's weird. And I mean, Kramnik pointed that out. Wesley one tournament plays like he's better than Carlson. Next turn he plays like he's worse than me. And sometimes Wesley seems really motivated. He's winning a lot. He's playing interesting. And sometimes Wesley's like draw. So I don't know. There's like two Wesleys. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, Tall was, of course, great at that. But that was a long time ago. Morphy was good. Texas Instruments does good calculators. Yeah. Wesley was awesome in skiing? Oh, skilling. I thought you meant he skied really well. I was like, that's unlikely. Yeah. Possible. Have I played Wesley? I have not. Yeah, Queen's Gambit's a good show. Who's the best? Tall, short, or middle? Probably middle. The tallest American master used to be Small. Greg Small. About 6'7". There's a funny picture I saw on Twitter today. It's just Nigel Short and Kramnik. The reason it's a funny picture, it's from a long time ago. It's like 30 years old. The reason it's a funny picture is because when you see pictures of Nigel Short, he's taller than everybody. But not in this picture. In this picture, he's being towered over by Kramnik. God damn. All right, so that was fun. Go David Pakman. He's the best or something. All right, so people challenge me. Let's do some chess before I leave. Could have a tournament, 10:37. Nah, just challenge me. I'll play some Blitz. Always repeat. No, I mean, Magnus reminds me a lot of Karpov, the way he plays. A lot. The difference is Karpov is always like the same. Karpov's like the same positions, the same understanding, the same outplaying, the same everything. Every Karpov game, with a few exceptions, like Karpov, Korchnoi, Sicilian, is similar. Karpov's equal, Karpov's better, Karpov wins. Okay, Magnus will play like weird openings and try some nonsense and, play for trick, if it's like Blitz and Bullet, and that's not, Karpov, yeah. So he's like an adventurous Karpov. Magnus is like Karpov if Karpov was like, let's try this nonsense. Which, Karpov not doing that. Karpov not trying any nonsense. So that makes it more interesting. Magnus's games are more interesting than Karpov's. But Karpov's a lot more interesting than Petrosian, which is similar. Petrosian's like, no nonsense ever. Frankly, nonsense. I think I played this wrong. Oh well. I was losing before Thaddeus was born. Don't see bishop takes. It's a retreat. Oh, he stopped both checkmates? Wow. So in this position, I was sure he was going to play knight f3 and then mate. But he stopped both checkmates. God damn. I'm probably going to lose now. Stop both checkmates. Man. And they stopped another one. This guy stops checkmate every move. I have a new favorite player. I'm a new tie wearing. Yeah. That was amazing. Man, bishop f4 triple X clam. It's like the triple Lindy. Man, if he had any pieces left, he'd be doing well. And get rid of all his pieces. Man, that was genius defense. I didn't make Luft, though. That was my problem. One mistake. How could I not make Luft? Let's see. I turned it on. Troubleshooting. Yeah, you did good with the stream, Karen. Everything was good. Yeah. My board sounds are really loud. I think we turned the volume up a lot. Yeah. Because, we were trying to fix the volume. All right. Yeah, that was at 97 instead of 54. Ben missed. What'd I miss? Queen G1 mate. Absolutely not. I never miss anything, ever. Okay, so obviously I have Queen G1 mate here. Did I have it earlier? No. So he played Bishop F4, Steven, defending G1. That's why I was explaining how great it was. Then he defended G1 again. So for some reason, Steven is at his 100% record of being wrong. Shocking. And then it was all theory. All right. And then this guy says Queen G1 was mate in 1. Terrible. Knight was pinned. What? Knight was pinned? What are you talking about? You mean the mic is too loud? Or because I turned down the board. That's fine. To do it somewhere else. Let's see. Desktop. Yeah, probably that. That's usually pretty low. Why do you guys keep saying the wrong thing? You have to donate. Okay. So Queen G1's not mate, and Queen G1's not mate. So what are you guys talking about? In this position, Queen G1's mate. The only way Steven would know that is because the engine told him. I thought you meant earlier I missed it. Well, here I was already in time trouble, and my coat was too warm, and my Perrier, it spilled a little, and my phone was making noise, and the light was flickering, and somebody was complaining that it was too noisy, so that's why I missed it. Grandmaster Gowrie knows what's up. The only Grandmaster in the chat. All right, this guy's 2200 at 3 minute. I want to play like 0 rated at 1 minute. That's better. Guy's challenging me rated. Terrible. I'm getting rid of all rated challenges. Now there's a challenge. 1581, Bulgaria, 1 minute. Perfect. Fake picture of some other guy. Great. That's exactly the kind of challenge I want. See, look at that. Plays like a German, the 3rd rank defense. Perfect. It's not see good. I'm already +9, etc. Yeah, he won't see Queen takes Knight. There's no way he'll see it. Nah. Ridiculous. Why am I avoiding Queen takes Knight when he's not going to play it? Hooray! It says I'm the worst. I know it. Let's see. Oh, I like this challenge. Yeah, David did pretty well when I asked him questions. Pretty good. Let's see. It's the reversed Albin counter gambit. It's on the other side of the board. Yeah, it still is. It's an Albin counter gambit, but it's the other side of the board. Confusing the audience. Never play F3. Still theory. After all that, I'm still completely losing. Damn. Tough opening. Come on, queen h5 check. Hanging that queen. Prove your rating. Still don't know if it's Australia, New Zealand. I'll never know. What's happening? Does this connection go down under? I won by abandonment. All right. Or I will play somebody high rated for the crowd. The crowd has rights. I love playing against 800s. Nothing could be better. 700s, I guess. How come you guys still can't spell Bobby Fischer? Yeah, 800 on chess.com is like 2750 on Lee Chess. You can ask C.L. Smith, he'll tell you. Fischer couldn't handle the truth? You deride his truth handling abilities? Am I allowed to move the king side or just the queen side? Don't play knight d6 mate. Friend request. What else did I miss? Somebody's following me. I always feel like... all right. Let's see. Move my knight and lose my queen? I think not. Go, Grandmaster Gowrie. Rook there. So where does my knight... Oh, I'll play this. He might not see his bishops hanging, then I win his bishop. Yes. Then he'll really earn his rating. Why can't we... Aw. Knight takes d5. Does that work? No. Two bishops, what else? And a what else? Rook c4, knight d2, Papa John's. It's the Papa John's attack. Does it work? Man, this move looks really stupid. Why am I so stupid and ever thin? My opponent keeps quoting me in the chat. My opponent's handle reminds me of the episode HTT Peter last season on Family Guy. And now you're fired, bruh. Still theory. So you have a threat? Well... Friend requests. I feel like my position's hanging by a thread. Also, I have less time. What happened? Rook d1? That's legal. All right, let's take that in case he doesn't take back. Damn. They always take back. Always retreat. My opponent has running commentary in the chat. It's pretty funny, actually. Two bishops, what else? My position's not as lost as it was. I'm catching up on time. I tripled on the C file. My opponent's less funny in the chat now. Yeah, we had about 5,500 viewers at the peak of Pakman. And just friend requests. Is that legal? Unfortunately. Shouldn't be. Let's see, there, takes. Yeah, my queen's better than his two rooks. Oh, I didn't see that was legal. All right. I thought he had to play rook c1. I was going to take this, he takes that, etc. Mainly, etc. Hooray. 2 mistakes, 1 blunder, Papa John's. Final position's good. If Fischer played Karpov for the world champion, who'd win? I mean, Fischer's dead and Karpov's not the world champions. I don't think they could do that. I guess Karpov, because he's alive. But I think other people would have something to say about that. Like, wait, why is Karpov the world champion? Shma subscribed. What is this, Rick and Morty? We have to get rid of all of these crazy challenges I have. They're rated and they're not unrated. Where my people? All right, CL Smith, you're not as bad as you play. CL Smith's actually the highest rated player on Lee Chess. So I got to watch it against him. Wait, why didn't I take that? Boo, boo. He's tricked me with his high Lee Chess rating. Darn. G2LV subscribed. Hooray. No, you can't leave. I mean, bye. Yeah, I'm used to playing 800s. What is this 1600 business? 500 centidues. Apple said, I'm not sure about the trains because when I was teaching Pakman, I wasn't paying attention. So I have no idea when the last train was. Maybe somebody in the chat remembers. I'm not sure if we can get a train. I don't know when the last train... It's probably been about an hour. Usually I'm like a train. The first train was good. We got to level 5. And then I wasn't paying attention after that. Oh, I got to get blood work done tomorrow. No. I hope it's Barbara Billingsley. She told me just to hang loose, blood. Let's see. How do I go here? I guess I go there. That was easy. Yay, let's go for a scam train. That's even better when it doesn't happen because they keep giving and they keep trying and trying. They don't know that trying is the first step to failure. Man, what would Lisa Simpson say about that bishop? Barbara Billingsley died a long time ago. But if you saw the movie Airplane, you'll get the joke. Maybe. 200 centidues, grunge wart. There's no Councilman Les Winan. Yeah, but good joke, though. Purple Faye, 47. Usually she gives like 3 centidues, and she gave 200. She must really like the stream. Z Bigniff, 100 centidues. Favorite tactics book? Gotta ask Spencer. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Karen. That bishop on D3. I would never make such a crude joke on my stream. I'm glad Karen's here. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. No, he made a move that makes some sense. No. This isn't the C.L. Smith that I know. Two bishops, what else? And an extra pawn. Two bishops is two bishops. Black is attacking the king and white has little time on his clock. Ben Feingold will win the game again. Normally, Ben Feingold plays 700 rated, so 1600 is big news for Ben Feingold. Go Komarov. Yeah, that's not a bad move. This guy's not as bad as he plays. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. Well, develop my pieces. That's nuts. Half the chat's like, this wins the queen. The other half is like, this wins the queen easily. Man, we got a lot of stuff happening here on this, over here. There's a lot happening. Should I open the position up yet for no reason? Yeah, he'll probably blunder if I go there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Always blunder. Sack my queen? Of course. Always sack my queen. And you will know my name is the Lord. It's funny, I can take his rook and play king h7. He has no checks. But this is simpler. But still funny. So my head is spinning. Zero mistakes, zero blunders, zero missed wins. Nice comeback win. If I made zero mistakes and zero blunders, I was at a comeback win. Don't call it a comeback. Mama said knock you out. Chess.com. Wow. All right. Good chat. Good. Man, there's a lot of people challenging me. Okay, I'm definitely not playing rated. I'm not playing with increment. So that gets rid of a lot of the challenges. Who do I play and why? Okay, I play you because I like your handle. Cello and Jello. Hey, why is my queen gone? He challenged me with my queen gone. I didn't notice. No. He tricked me too, so now I like it even more. I hope the Jello's vegan at least. He challenged me where I give queen odds and I didn't notice. That's pretty funny. I'm so concerned that now I might lose, except for one thing. You're 1300 and you play bishop d7? Oh, you probably meant to play bishop e6 and it was a mouse slip. Yeah, probably that's what happened. Yeah. Gotta guess something. Yeah, there we go. There's the move he wanted to play. I keep pre-moving a move and it never happens. Terrible. Maybe he won't take as he never took before. All right, good. Oh, snap. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, I'm still lost. Okay, I'm not lost anymore. Man, no wonder he wanted queen odds. He was right. When you're right, you're right. Can't argue with that. Always repeat. Whoa, that hangs my rook. Terrible. Yay, it's some noise I like. What noise annoys an oyster? Any noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster most. Kale the Legend did something. I don't know. Subscribe maybe? Something. Hooray. Go, Ben. 25. 1,500 sentences. We analyze quickly. I just played in one against a master. I sacked a pawn. I'll post it in the stream. Yeah, sure. Why not? That'll kill some time. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. We're sort of off Chess TV now. So we're going to go from 5,000 viewers to 2,000. Then somebody's going to log on in the next 5 minutes and say, wow, 2,000 viewers. That's great. And they'll be serious. Man, that was crazy. I didn't have a queen. Terrible. Yeah, we're already losing viewers. We've already lost hundreds. You said you were going to post the game in the stream, but I don't see it. What am I missing? Come on, Fen Beingold, hurry up. Bye, 3,000 people. Bye, terrible church people. That's right. All right, we'll get a 1-minute game in while you're, whatever you're doing. Always retreat. Nah, I'm just kidding. Another train. Thanks, Fen. I'll look at it next. Thanks, Nicola, whatever you did. You subscribed to Tier 3. Thank you. Tier 3 is expensive. Now, I'm playing my opponent from Canada, so he's slow. He's slower than I thought. I want to make the joke, this guy's not the best player in Canada, but maybe he is. Oh, snap. Moves aren't the best that he's playing. I don't know. Second best. Simply the best. Go train. Thanks for the level 3 sub. That's why the train started so high. Oh, it's my move? Always sack the exchange. I win. Hooray. That's better than the alternative. 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 missed wins. I'm pretty sure I made a lot of mistakes that game. 1,500 centidues. Fen Beingold. Thank you, sir. I missed some people to thank because I was busy. Although maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't miss anybody. 1,500. All right. All right. So let's see here. You were black. 3-minute game. Fen Beingold. Good name. Okay, that game was closed except for one thing. The stream with David was pretty good. I think he wants to do it again. Go back, Jack. Do it again. Fen. Ugh. All right. And then Beingold. And then Master 2,200 plus. And it's a 3-minute game. I forgot how to flip the board because I'm an old man. Why do we still have 4,600 viewers? They put me back on Chess TV? What happened? David is at least a GM after the lesson. If you don't want to watch commercials, you should subscribe to my channel. If you can't afford to subscribe to my channel, then ask somebody in the chat and they'll give you a sub. You were coaching David only for like an hour and a half. Yeah. No, Chess TV, I just lost 1 million viewers. Yeah, give those people subs who ask for subs. Okay, so this was a 3-minute game. Okay. Bishop d2 is a little passive for a bishop e2. What happened? 1,500 centidues. Thank you. Yeah, bishop e2 is not, that's not, yeah. Yeah, the point of c6 is to play queen a5 and pin the knight, play b5 here, play d5, lots of points. Yeah, this is pretty passive for white. All right, it doesn't like the move e5 at all because of knight d5. It wants to just move your queen. Okay, or play knight bd7. Now after knight d5, it prefers white. It seems like it's slightly better for white. Yeah, this seems like it just transposes into normal stuff. All right, we need like another cent to do. b5. Now it's very Philidorian. Yeah, this is just a Philidor where white's played sort of strange. How can the guy be a master and he plays h3 and a3? I mean, come on. I mean, that's more like a master baiter, not a master. Okay, so bishop e7, bishop e3. Yeah, this is just like a normal Philidor, but everybody lost like 5 tempi, moving their pieces around in a circle. So what I'm interested in is if everybody played like a normal person. Let's do that. Let's pretend nobody played any funny moves. Bishop e2 is passive, but that's okay. Okay, so this is if everybody just played without losing any tempi. Golden Goyim subscribed. Hava Nagila. Yeah, one time I was playing my friend Aviv, and I didn't know what to do, so I played the Goyim attack, and he couldn't handle it. Isn't this the position you had? Except, you know, it's white's move. And then, let me get to your position. Bam. Yep. So it's exactly the same. You play queen a5 to c7. He played bishop d2 to e3. So I actually clicked on the game from that position, and everything's fine. Everybody's happy. Okay, so it's equal. It's boring. Good. I like that. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Anti-positional move. This pawn's better than this pawn. So this just gives away the c5 square, and you don't gain anything from it. You know, black has bishop c5, knight c5. And white later might want to play d5, but it's illegal. And if I play c5 with black, I'm attacking your e4 pawn. You can't play d5. So this is a kind of move a grandmaster wouldn't even consider. It's too anti-positional. Oh, bishop f1. Oh, now I forgive him. So now knight c5 would be good. That's a 3-minute game, so you're just playing fast. But yeah, obviously black's doing great here. Knight d2, terrible. FRR Mac gifted 3 subs. Hooray! That move gives away all the white squares. There's no reason to play here. You're giving away c4. Yeah, just play knight c5 and be better. You put pressure here. Your knight can go to f4 and d4. You can play b4 later. Yeah, this is anti-positional also. Video Game Pianist subscribed. Go video game. Haven't seen you in a long time. Pretty good 3-minute game. Nobody blundered anything. Yeah, now the engine likes white because Fen Beingold's idea of giving away the c4 square was shallow and pedantic. Yeah, so b4 was a strategical error, which doesn't matter in 3-minute chess, unless you're playing Magnus. And now we can see why white lost, even though it's the engine's first choice, f3. Never play f3. Bishop takes, gifted a sub. Hooray. Purple Faye gifting subs. Purple Faye. Purple Faye. That is why you won f3, right? And you're still worse. Okay, bishop a6. Good. Now your opponent can get the 2 bishops with knight d6, threatening the rook and threatening the bishop. And the engine prefers white. I probably wouldn't even make that move if I saw it because I like my knight on c4. So, yeah, queen b2 seems good. Now the engine wants bishop c5 equal. Crazy tactical move. It just works. Now he has the two bishops. This pawn's weak. Now you're losing. Boo, boo, you lost a pawn. You got everything overworked there. Yeah, in this position, it's funny that you lose the e-pawn because you got two defenders, but he has two attackers. And when you played bishop c5, you got rid of one of your defenders, your knight. Your rook is a defender, but he gets rid of it with this move. So you can't defend your e-pawn. Luckily, his bishop on f1 is sort of passive. So he didn't lose yet. Rook a1's better. I would definitely move my king here, but rook a1 is better. I wouldn't see rook a1, so I wouldn't do it. Ooh, f4 looks... I'm not saying it's a bad move, but f4 looks really scary. Apple side, 1,200 centidues. Thank you. You can see how the guy wants to get his pawn off of f3. f4 is really weakening. It weakens this pawn, this pawn. No, the queen's trapped. No, that's too dangerous. Yeah, now queen f2 is winning. He didn't see queen f2. Yeah, he should have played knight e3 and blocked your queen. That is, knight can go to f5. Yeah. So f4 is the losing move. Now you're actually winning. Well, knight h5 is good. Knight g3 is good. Then he resigned. Yeah. Man, I haven't seen such penetration since date night. God damn. Hope you have protection, Fenbeingold. He didn't. Oh, snap. That wasn't Apple's side. That needed some spermicide. Oh, no, he didn't. All right, good game. Good game. 8 subs, 5,900 bits. Yeah, f4 was the end of, that was too loosening. Here, everything's protected. And then f4, nothing's protected. He just didn't see queen f2. Threatening this, and then it all falls apart like a house of cards. Checkmate. Yeah, that was a pretty quick victory at the end. Yeah, when you penetrate like that, you don't have to be so quick. Maybe think of baseball. I don't know. All right, good game, good game. I really can't leave, although I don't feel well, because, 3,000 viewers. So, man, I have a lot of followers today. 344 followers. I don't think I've ever had that many in like a 3-hour stream. All right, not bad. Good average viewership. Accept my challenge. Yay. And I have 3,000 viewers. You can't make that joke yet. No jokes. I have like 500 challenges. I'm just here to give David, a lesson. I'm not here to play chess or anything. Yay, 888 Dominic gave 10 subs, getting us, Fenbeingold's about 2330 maybe, giving us close to 2,600 subs. Close. Also probably more. Dominic, I haven't seen you in forever. Now let me explain what Dominic giving 10 subs means. Should I explain it, Dominic? I can explain it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right. It's a guess. I'm guessing Negreanu did badly today and yesterday. That's my guess. I have no idea if I'm right. I'm just guessing. 1,500 centidues. Yay, you beat f3. Negreanu got crushed. Lucky guess. Negreanu said he got unlucky 3 weeks in a row. Oh, sorry. No, but Negreanu really did get crushed today. Yeah, I haven't seen Dominic in here forever, so I assume when he's giving out subs, Negreanu's giving away the money. It's unfair to be lucky all the time. It's true. The younger players are always luckier. It's funny, like DTO, Dominic, a lot of people who play poker, that are really good, like Dominic, they're not like I was unlucky and let me show you my bad beat. That's usually the bad players. And let me give you some advice, Dominic, because as a top poker player, you want poker advice from a chess player. That's what you want. You just didn't know it. Okay, and this advice came from another poker player. That's why I'm giving it to you. Also, you already know it. Also, you've already turned off and you've left. One of the greatest players ever was Chip Reese. Whatever noise that was, thanks. 50, yeah. And Chip Reese said something very interesting that Dominic will agree with. Watch how Dominic agrees with it. Are you ready for an agreement? He said, somebody said, why are you so good at poker? He said, when I'm on my A game, I'm pretty good. A lot of people are pretty good on their A game. He says, when I'm on my B game and my C game, I'm still pretty good. Most people aren't too good on their B game or their C game. So yeah, like when you're playing well, you're like, oh, let me show you this game I beat Mamedyarov, okay? And then when you're not playing well, you're like, let me show you this game I lost to a 300. And Chip Reese's point was, when he's playing well, he beats Mamedyarov, and when he's not playing well, he draws Mamedyarov, right? So if you want to be a good poker player, you can't be like, I played great, except yesterday I didn't play great, and last week I didn't play great, and 3 weeks ago I didn't play great, but in between I did. All those other sessions I did. So I'm down, but I'm great. And this is actually, when I was playing a lot of pool, I wasn't a good pool player, but I know people who are. And I noticed that when a great pool player was playing bad, they still played really good. And when a bad pool player plays badly, so like when Nakamura plays badly, he beats Carlsen anyway. When you guys play badly, you lose to people who don't know the rules. There were people on my stream, I taught my girlfriend how to play last week, and yesterday she beat me twice. So when you guys don't play well, you can lose to absolute beginners. And when Carlsen doesn't play well, he has 4 draws in a row against Nepo and Grishuk. Yeah. So if Negreanu's not playing well, then he should lose a little bit. And then if he's playing great, he should win a lot. I'm not saying he should. I'm saying that should be like what you're going for. What you're going for is, when I'm playing great, my A game, I beat everybody. When I'm playing my B and my C game and I'm not on, I lose a little bit. But I think for Negreanu, it's like the opposite. It's like when he's not on his game and he's complaining, he's losing a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, Negreanu can play great. Negreanu can play as good as anybody, just like everybody else can. But how often do you play your best? When you play your best, you can play chess just as well as I can. However, if you play your best 10 moves and play bad 40 moves, that's not good. You got to play best all 50. So if you're going to play badly, like I heard Negreanu was on the stream, you got to minimize your losses. Now, having said that, yeah, right. I mean, he stole that from his friend Mike Matusow, losing thousands in one hand. I have nothing good to say about Phil Hellmuth, about anything. His personality, his poker play, anything. His height's pretty good. It's about 6'7". I will say one thing good about Phil Hellmuth. One, and that's it. When Phil Hellmuth is in a bad mood and losing and getting outdrawn and feeling he's unlucky, whether he is or not, he quits. And I mean, poker players can't do that. I'd never see anybody do that. But he's like, man, I'm going to start playing badly if he can play worse than he already does. So he leaves. Everybody else I know just borrows money from everybody, all in every hand. Bad players. Yeah, he's like, I'm mad, and he leaves. I agree with that. Yeah, that I agree with. Yeah. I don't know what Dominic thinks, but That's the one thing Helmuth does well. When he's losing or he's mad, he leaves. Because he realizes he's going to lose a lot more if he sticks around. Most people chase. He doesn't chase. Yeah. When I'm not playing good poker, I play better. Well, I'm talking about when he's playing a cash game and he's getting his ass kicked, which is every time I've ever seen him play a cash game. Yeah, tournaments, obviously he's a better tournament player than a cash player. Fen buying gold, 1,500 centidues. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't play B4. You gave away the C4 square and the A4 square. He had a knight on D2 that could go to C4. He had a knight on C3 that could go to A4. He had a bishop on F1 or E2, and you played B4. You made 3 of his pieces better. Come on, what's a 3-minute game? It's a 3-minute game. Doesn't matter. Phil Hellmuth is good at multi-table, no-limit tournaments. If you put any other words in that sentence, I'm not a Phil Hellmuth fan. If you use any other words, don't use any other words. If you use the word cash, if you use the word heads up, if you use the word shorthanded, any other words, don't, if you use limit, limit's probably good at limit. Terrible. I have a really funny joke I want to ask Dominic, but I'm probably banned from Twitch from asking it. Yeah, I think I can't even ask, even though it's a joke, I can't ask it. You're not supposed to joke about that. I want to phrase the question where I don't get in trouble. Anyway, thanks for the 10 subs. Okay. Would you rather that's not good. Yeah, I wanted to say, would you rather lose a finger, like your finger is gone, and the rest of your life is the same, or the rest of your life you have to play limit poker, but you keep your fingers? Limit. The rest of your life is limit. Also, you can't quit poker. You have to play limit poker. You can't say, like, well, I just won't play. You have to play. Which finger is correct? And you can't say you have to quit poker. You have to actually play limit poker. Which finger? Yeah, truth hurts. I like that which finger. That's the right answer. Don't do it. The 11th finger. Yay, 4,000 viewers, possibly not on Chess TV. I played a lot of limit poker. And then when I played no limit for the first time, I don't think I've ever played limit poker since. I don't think. I mean, I might have. I just don't think I have. Maybe. There's a story that I've told on the stream before that's not believable. I don't care if you believe it. I saw it. There was a guy at the Diamond Club in New York, and he would play 4-8 limit. So the bets are $4, and then when you get to the turn in the river, it's $8. Okay? His name was Patrice. That was his name. I don't know his last. I never met his last name. Anyway, he would average losing $1,500 a night. If you tried to lose $1,500 a night, I don't know if you could ever do it. I guess you could, but that was like his average. God damn. Good old Patrice. Those were the days. Yeah. Go, Dominic. Yeah. When I go to the Diamond Club, it would be Friday night, Saturday, and at the big table, there was always this like super Jewish guy playing. I don't know if he was a rabbi, but he, all black and the things and the beard and everything. Yarmulke, everything. He had everything. And I was like, how's that guy playing poker all night for money when it's like the Sabbath? And they said, yeah, but it's poker, so that, the Sabbath doesn't matter. I'm like, what is the guy, me? Yeah. Ridiculous. Those were the good old days. I remember all the good old days. Yeah. D-Nex proved he wasn't cheating, made me think of you. God damn, how bad did he do? Jesus Christ. Wow. How bad did Negreanu do the last couple of days? What are you guys talking about? Awful? So he lost like $500,000 the last 2 days? That's awful. Lost his wife? What? And his ex-wife? What? Yay, we lost 1,000 viewers. D-Rush 98 subscribed. Hooray. Go D-Rush. I prefer DREM, but D-Rush is okay. All right, let's play some chess. Confusing the audience. Get rid of the analysis board. All right. Country is this? Bulgaria, I heard of that. No, what happened? 800 centidues. Thanks, Appleside. You're the best. I'm not sure at what, but something. Never play F6. Good. Yay, make all these moves that gain tempos. Gain a second on the clock. Hooray. So much time on the clock extra. I was behind on the clock. And now I'm not. Man, you really wanted to play bishop takes h3. I could sense it. We better put a stop to that. I can't be defending. I'm like acting silly here. I'm just being silly. No time left for me on my way to better position. Yeah, I know the en passant rule. I'm the best. What happened? I thought I lost. I thought like I lost on time. Like my queen's attacked and he resigned. What? That was a weird time to resign. He attacked my queen, then he resigned. All right, I don't know. Pista Botes is a funny handle. The all caps isn't good. Also, we love Naroditsky and Botes. Boo, boo, boo. What's my favorite opening? It depends if it's date night or not. Oh, snap. If you don't get that joke, that's better. If you get it, I'm in trouble. What age is I when I got GM? Old. He's from Canada, so he's slow, eh? Go, Karen. Karen could be asleep and in the chat. Wow, I think you spelled Gingerhashvili right. What the hell? $100 centidues. Thanks, Bubble Art. I like to rate Bubble Art, but she's never streaming. She streams at like 4 a.m. I like to raid the smaller streamers like Chess Coach Net and Bubble Art and Thirsty Monster, Chess with Ovi, Fortuna Chess Coach. But usually when I'm finishing my stream, they're not streaming. So then I have to stream like, Chess Bros. You know how it is. All right, this will be the last, 3,000 viewers, or I'll never leave. Never mind. Did Gingy never play Fischer? You spelled Fischer wrong. You spelled Gingerhashvili right. Who spells Gingerhashvili right and Fischer wrong? Who, I ask you, who? Hello. I don't think they've ever played. Not to my knowledge. when people on the stream say, can someone become a GM if they do this? Can someone become a master if they do that? Can someone do this? I'll tell you what it reminds me of. When I was in college, first barber, then clown, the teacher would say, we're having a test tomorrow or next class. Any questions? I never heard a question about the material. Like, oh, you said in class this, but my book says that, or I don't understand what you mean by this, or can you explain this? That never happened, never. The questions were, do I have to bring my own Scantron? Do I have to bring a pencil? If my pencil breaks, can I get another one? How long is the test? Is the test multiple choice? There were never any questions about the material. There was just like nonsense questions about the test. That's what it's like when instead of saying, I studied 30 hours last week and I played a 2300 and the engine said I was winning on move 15, but I blundered. There's never anything like that in my chat. My chat is like, if I started at the age of 11, can I be a grandmaster at 23? No. When the questions you ask are those questions, no. No grandmaster who's alive now has ever said when they were like 11, hey, can I be a grandmaster? They don't do that. They just study chess and get better. That's what you guys do. Frankly, terrible. This is another thing you guys do which makes me mad. Two really good players are playing in a tournament or on the internet or real, it doesn't matter. And one of them is the favorite in your mind. Let's say Carlson. And he's playing Grishuk. Okay? And you guys think every single move of every position that the lower ranked player is trying to draw. And you're like, oh, Magnus blundered, and now the engine says Grishuk is winning. Do you think Grishuk's going to try to win, or he'll be happy with the draw with Magnus? The top players in the world don't idolize the other top players in the world. They just try to beat them. So when Grishuk is beating Magnus, he expects to win. He doesn't say Magnus is good, and I'm only Grishuk, so I'm not going to win. That's the way you guys think. That's not, you don't get to 2780 FIDE because you think you suck. That's not what's happening. Never been so mad. But it's the defeatist attitude that a lot of you have is why you don't get better at chess. You're like, I drew Magnus, yay. You guys are like, Wesley So drew Magnus that game. He must be really happy. I mean, he's probably so-so, etc. Go bend. Yeah, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Stinky Chubkin subscribed. Good, good. You could be a GM if you bribed enough people. See, now you're thinking outside the box. Like, how can I get that GM title? Now, I refer you to the Simpsons episode where Homer fights Drederick Tatum. And Mo, who's Homer's manager, says, Homer, I'm not going to lie to you. You can win this bout, but you have to visualize it. And then Homer thinks to himself, how can I win this fight? And there's an announcement by the referee in his vision, and it says, due to a congenital heart defect, Homer wins by default. See, he imagined how he was going to win. His opponent was ill and couldn't fight. See, that's you got to figure out if you want to become a GM. Maybe you got to bribe some people. You get whatever you have to do. That's what you got to do. Let's see. Can I play knight here, mate? Let me see. Yes, I can. All right, let's see if he lets me do it. Play knight here, mate would be awesome. I need a little bit of help, but not much. Just a little. Just a little help, not much. There you go. That's the help I needed. That's what you guys were thinking when I said, can I play knight there, mate? Hooray! I'm the worst GM, but still better than you. God damn. Yay, promote to a knight with mate. The only thing that matters. Right, the funniest way to win. You can do whatever you want, Homer. You just have to visualize it. Are you an angel? Yes, all angels wear capri pants. Homer, he's not going to get tired. You have to punch him back. That cactus is right. That's a great line. So a friend of mine who I referenced on the stream earlier, he almost choked to death watching The Simpsons. He was like drinking something and he started like choking because it was so funny. It was the most dangerous time he had watching a comedy. The Simpsons were in prison on an island and they jumped into the water like Alcatraz, and they were jumped to escape and they're swimming away. And one of the guards pulls a gun to shoot him. And the other guy says, no, don't shoot him. He says, that manatee will get them. And the guy says, that walrus will get him. Walrus or manatee? I think walrus. That walrus will get him. And he says, that's not a walrus, that's the husband, referring to Homer. And he says, that's the husband, then why is he eating a seal? Then they show Homer, and there's the tail of the seal, and it's like, no, all you see is the tail, because the rest he already ate. And when my friend saw that, why is he eating a seal? Go Homer. Homer's the best. Me and George W. Bush are like, that son. The penguin attack. I have not heard of it. It sounds terrible. Manatees are herbivores. There was a manatee, I think, in another Simpsons episode, but not that one. We need 5 more subs so that we have 2,600 subs. Okay, that was quick. Thank you. But that was right after I said it. Damn. Marco Ferrando, no talking, gave 5 subs. That's the greatest handle ever. God damn. What a great handle. 2,600 subs, 2,600 viewers, Papa John's. Which pawn is my favorite? Pandemonium. Heidi Klumjoke is reasonable. C+, at least. I feel sick. All these challenges are the wrong time control and the wrong rating and so forth. Oh, he defended his pawn. All right, better go here then. Let's see, here or here? Which is more likely to work? Still theory. Is this a manatee here? More games of chess than atoms in the universe. I'm slow and old and bad. I'm a triple threat. I didn't win. I pre-moved it, but I only had 0.1 seconds when I pre-moved. Darn. Even though you were winning at one point, at least you got the draw. Man, the pre-move wasn't good enough. Yeah, I was thinking about doing this earlier with my bishop here, but I thought it might be stalemate. So, like, in this position, I was like, if I go here and here, it's going to be stalemate. So I have to get my bishop out of there. Then I could do it. Yeah, and he correctly played king h8 in this position instead of king g8. Then I would have won. He's too good. No. Draw. I was robbed. I agree. Yeah. No, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich is too much for you. You can finish it in 2 sittings, though. This guy really didn't know the opening. Should study his theory. I didn't play mate in 1. I'm the worst. I was too busy taking things. Nice comeback. What? Don't call it a comeback. All right, I've been streaming long enough, even though I have, 2,500 viewers. Oh, I hate to leave with so many viewers. Tired and old. All right, tomorrow's Thursday. No, it's Wednesday. I'm supposed to stream 8 to 11 tomorrow. It's possible. I gotta do blood work at 11:30. I'm already tired thinking about it. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm tired and old. I should keep streaming, but I can't do it. Wah. And one more thing, as Columbo would say,